Well, it's time to start the show, apparently. Let's do a thing, shall we? Hello, 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 hi, welcome everyone, welcome one and all to the first time I'm going to use an airbrush, not just on stream, but the first time I'm going to use an airbrush since Grendler was here. So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yes, Confurioso. That's what a way to start it off. So yeah, I'm going to put song requests on because, again, none of this content is going to be exported to YouTube or anything like that. We're just going to mess about learning how to do an airbrush. You could make it into a kind of beginner tutorial, but learning with and learning from tend to take two different kind of processes, two different approaches, and I'm not sure I'm in the mood to do it in a this is how I think you do this. You know, I've got some advice from Grendler, from Rainer72, from YouTube, and all that kind of jazz. So, yeah. Big dick. Right. That's going to be tonight. Okay, cool. Greetings, Yang. How you doing? Welcome everyone who's here before. Treverian, awesome emote, by the way. I thought originally it was like three lines, like a scratch. But then it says hi. I see it. And obviously the joke. And what a way to start the show! Holy shit!
Riddly diddly 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 dum dum.
Indeed. What a way to start it. Should we get right into it? Let's get right into the riddly diddly. It's the best thing on the internet right now. I love it. It's a bit loud. Alright. Let's try doing that. There we go. So how are we talking? In general, we're just too loud, or just the music was towards? We'll see. So here's a good question. Can you hear the compressor? That's the critical. This is the first time I've ever heard the compressor on stream. So can you guys even hear that? Answers on the postcode. Anyway, Confurioso, thank you so much for that subscription. I really appreciate that. It's 3 months in a row as well, man. Enjoy the bronze barrel. Can't hear it at all. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, that was a luck. Well, obviously you're going to hear the air from the gun, but this is my first time doing this, and I know the things that annoy me when watching other airbrush streams, so I tried my best to keep it away from the mic, which is why, after all of the setup of that other section, we've actually done a swap. So you'll notice we're back to please turn it up. So we're back to the old card that I used to use pre the background drops I had. The idea being I'm going to spray directly onto this. I've got like a kitchen towel to do test sprays and all that kind of jazz, and then we're just going to spray onto this. And I've got some protection cardboard you guys can't see for all the hidden magic of production value. Right, so I've got all the things to prep. You might have saw on Instagram and on Facebook, for those of you that did. Hey Nikki, how you doing? I've got a whole bunch of things to prep. So we're going to go through this as a kind of learning experience as well. So it's not going to be the fastest, swiftest, most professional priming. It'll probably be, in fact, the entire opposite of that. It's going to be horrendous. Let me just move the music so I can see it and see what's coming up. Pop it down. Pop it. What a tune though. Airbrush hyphen DA. Scott, how you doing as well? The duo are in. Yeah, so we're going to be, like I said, we're going to approach this like a learning curve. So I have previously primed a few minis. Let me sort the focus out as well. I haven't even done a focus set. Apologies. So I did these when Grendler was here as my kind of, with guidance. You know, they're just some old school Dark Reapers. There you go, whatever. So you can see like various levels. I wouldn't even call it proper zenithal. It's just kind of black with some highlighting, pre-shading. I don't know, whatever the right term is. I basically went to put some white from above, so it's, you know, the zenithal in the way that I used to do it with the rattle can. That's kind of my plan. That's kind of what I did. Compressor cam. Oh, it's not that good a compressor. It's really not. It's kind of embarrassing. Well, maybe we'll put compressor in the background of Ella cam when we have that mini flit cam. But yeah, anyway, that was my approach, my attempt when Gren was here. So that's what we've got to either match or improve upon, and just consistency, not putting it too thick, blah, 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 blah. But I haven't touched it since, so this is going to be interesting. I've got the Steinenres, if I get that right, Steinelres, I guess. So we've got the white, the black, and the grey. Today we're going to be using the black and the white only. Although we might have a dab at the grey just to see. I've got a whole bunch of test miniatures ranging from the new 8th edition stuff. I've got Treverian's Broken. I've got the Infinity Commission. Obviously I'll do that properly. I've got a random half marine Sigmarite thing that was free that I'm going to use as a test bed for something else later on, so I'm going to get that one preened up as well. Hey, Beamington, how you doing? General, welcome. He got me broken. Yeah, I did indeed. We've also got, of course, Nikola Tesla for the OSL stuff. We've got just a plethora of goodies behind there. I've got a few more I can do if we run out, but I suspect that the speed in which I'm doing this, because I am learning, because I'm not confident in the process directly, that it'll take some time. So, okay. I guess there's no excuse for the crack straight on. So I've got the compressor turned on. It's a I don't know what it says. Yeah, it's a 3-litre air tank. So it's a tanked compressor with 3-litre air tank. Just a hobby one from Amazon. I bought all this stuff with Rainer. So Rainer 72 came in and yeah, tell me about it, Beef. Holy crap! Tell me about it today. I'm cooking as well, which is why it's like so humid. We're gonna go in raw with the primer initially, but because of the heat, because of the humidity today, especially in the geek room with all the lights and all that kind of jazz, as per usual, we might end up adding in some flow improver. So something I was learning today, and not necessarily learning, but reassuring myself by asking others, just to make sure, like, is this right? Is this what I've read? Is this correct? But yeah, so a flow improver retards the speed in which that the paint dries, whereas a thinner will increase that process. Will speed it up. So we're never going to touch the thinner today at all. Bear in mind with the humidity and the heat, it's like painting in Arizona. But we might end up using some of the flow improver if we need to. It's too moist in the UK. 18 degrees C with normal sunshine, a few clouds. You lucky bastard. I'm not here. I'm not actually not sure the exact temperature is. I don't even know if I've got a way of... I don't know if your phone has any kind of thermometer on it. You can tell the temperature. I don't know. Maybe. I've never looked. I don't know. But either way, it is hot as the balls here. Betty Swallocks all up in here. No, so I think it's got any kind of temperature. But anyway. Right, so... yeah, so the compressor's on. I've got no paint in there, just air. But again, we are using the iWater Eclipse. This is the HPCS. Again, this was purchased using the Money online partnership celebration stream, where some generous people, Kirby, Jerusalem, amongst many others, of course, most of you guys are in the chat now, helped me to basically buy. Didn't cover all the costs, but it certainly helped. So we've got this, and also all the gubbins you need for it. So we've got like an additional, we've got a moist trap here, got the quick release. Obviously the hose as well, the compressor, then various cleaning bits and bobs as well, which again I used once and I have to use again. There's a weapon that I can only describe as a weapon because this is how it feels to me. It's just mental. Like, what is it? So these are the cleaning utilities that make sense. You know, they're little brush things. Makes sense. You can use a brush. This is something I expect to find potentially in a prison somewhere. It's a nicely concealed stabby weapon. And not only is it a concealed stabby weapon, it's flat on one side compared to the other. Now this came as part of the cleaning set. But I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what you would use this for. I wouldn't put this against, considering the needles inside the airbrush need to be balanced, need to be straight, need to not have bent tips, all that kind of jazz. So you've got to take really good care of these needles. You wouldn't want to put a stabby thing on them. It's just a shank. It's a full-on shank. Oh, there you go. Yeah, as Beamington said, it's just a prison shank. I'm sorry. That's what it is. Oh, God. It's got to be Dagonazal in it. Yeah, here he is. Good coolness. So, yeah, but it's a push and pull, so it's a push for air. Oh, thank you, the Gens. It's very kind of you. Welcome, dude. Glad you caught a stream. You said you weren't sure. Now you did. But yeah, this is the push for the air and then pull back for paint. Obviously, no paint there currently. Okay, can you guys hear that? I don't know if that's really loud. Again, let me know. Hopefully, this is a dynamic mic opposed to a standard issue open cardioid. So hopefully, it shouldn't pick that up too much. Still get a little bit, of course, I'm sure. So yeah, that's the weaponry there. The scary shank thingy. the brushes. Other than that, we've got a cleaning tub. I'm sure most of you know what this is, where you just point the when you're cleaning out. There you go. When you're cleaning out the airbrush, so you place the gun there and shoot there. And there's like a filter in here, all that kind of jazz. So I've got that to hand as well, which we used last time. Then I've just got a piece of kitchen towel that I'll use to test the flow and all that kind of jazz. I've also got a little bit of water on the side as well to want some water through the gun before I start, which again was advised to me. That's about it. So as far as I'm aware, I think we're good to go. Just got to get some models and some paint. Going to take a leaf out of the book of a few other people. Oh yes, some of the best criminal minds in the world. Black rubber gloves, guaranteed no fingerprints. Fully endorsed. air paint, yeah, the thing. We're not going to do that today. We're not going to be doing any of that. This is me learning. If you can learn with, then great. I will not be doing any. Right, air, paint. If I did that and Genuine Vision joined the channel, he'd have a heart attack. Wait, what? Actual painting? No, right now we're just talking about painting. It's closer to painting than we've done for a while. Smart ass. Right, let's pop this out of the way over there. There's so many cables everywhere now. Right, okay, cool. Hey, Raina, hey, how you doing, man? I say feel free to whisper me if you wish to, as we spoke earlier. I have the same airbrush. My moisture trap is on the compressor, though, not the line. I've got both. I can't really show you, but this is a inline one that came additional, and you can release the pressure there as well. But yeah, there's also a moisture trap. I could try and show you, but just have to trust me that there is one on the actual compressor as well, which gives me my pressure reading as well. And I've got it set to 2.1 bar at the moment. For those of you that use PSI, I don't know. And you're asking me why I've got it set to 2.1, because Grendler came over and turned it to 2.1 and said that's kind of cool. So nothing more scientific than that. Simply going to keep it at the level of the whole time, and I'll keep consistency. I think the idea, like anything, any kind of tool, if the tool itself remains consistent, it's only you that needs to improve or change. So that's what I'm going to do. Hello Rick, how you doing? I have the same wire brush thing and airbrush cleaning pot as Flick. Wow, cool. There you go, man. Share it all up. Turn your head and cough. Oh, I see. Rubber gloves. I'm with you. I get it. Like, wait, what? Oh. Oh, no. Now, maybe Flick can paint twice as fast as normal with an airbrush. Nah, maybe, but right now, no. Today is going to be as slow as normal painting because we're going to be learning how to do it. We're going to be messing up, going back, starting again. We're going to get angry. We're going to drop things, break things, forget what things go where. And all of the chaos and car crash that you'd expect with the first time using airbrush. Remember, what I've chosen to do here is not only use the airbrush for the first time on stream, but use it for the first time unsupervised by someone who knows what the hell they're doing. So the last time this airbrush was when Grendler was here. So, yeah, this could go horribly wrong. But it could be absolutely fine as well. This is going to be really weird, look. Whoa, this is... Oh, should take my ring off. Never mind. Also, let me think. Don't worry, you got this. If you have AB is here if you break down a cry. Okay, cool. AB. Oh, airbrush is here. Yeah, cool. Let's do this. Give me 1 second. Bear with me 2 seconds, and I will just catch up. Hey, doing Moses? Welcome, man. 30 is good. Gonna lower when he hits in the area. 30 is good. Okay. Yeah, 2.1 bar is 30.45. Okay, yeah, cool. It's Joeg's birthday today, but she's letting me watch you on TV, on the big TV. Good woman she is. Hell yeah, Newbie. Well, happy birthday, Joeg. Very cool. Happy birthday. I'm assuming she's 21, right? Well, many happy returns. Paintball throwers, Raina. Let's do that. So, let's do a thing again. Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Get out of the way. So, let's check all the things in 1 second. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually bringing in theory, I'm bringing in another human, because it seems like tradition now to bring in one of the family, one of the Raina family. So on Sunday, you'll know that Letharian joined us whilst we were doing a stream, learning how to do some fiber arts. We were trying to spin yarn on a drop spindle, and it was quite fun. In fact, I posted up the fruits of the spoil, or is that right? The fruits of war? I don't know. I'm not right. The spoils of war, whatever. We either way, I posted up the yarn that I made. I call it yarn. Not really sure it qualifies as yarn, but either way. So instead, this evening, we're calling on the abilities and knowledge of Raina72. He's joined me on Discord tonight, and he's going to talk me through things and give me confidence and watch me fail miserably and offer advice as and when's needed. We're skipping that.
Sure, you want to invite the troll in?
Yes, because if I can't take as well as I give, then what is the point, eh? What is the point? How are you doing, man? Anyway,
Doing all right.
good. Glad to hear it. Thank you for coming to my aid.
No problem. My time might be a little bit limited. I'll let you as much as you can.
4 months of fueling the hobby.
Hell yeah, 4 months fueling the hobby. Thank you so much, Witch King. Hype it up, guys. If you are here and aren't a sub, please use the emote. You may have noticed, by the way, that we've got some different emotes now. Maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't. There's a couple new ones sneaking in there. But hype it up. If you're not, !hype, and you can share the love and you can thank Witch King for rejoining the ranks. I'm still not sure on flick heads. People are trying to make that stick. I'm still not exactly sure on that, but there we go. But yes, there we go. We moved the fixed cyan down to the $4.99 so everyone can use it, and we slotted in a new Bowie one for now, in at $24.99. It just seems like seems pretty good. You can use it how you want. It's just a random screen cap I pictured from the David Bowie stream. If you think you've got a better screen cap that will make a better emote, conveying a better emotion during that David Bowie stream, go and watch it. Go and watch it. Let me know. Find it. That's the one I found. It's just like, yeah. So there you go. Anyway, we've got some more coming, but we'll talk about that later on. So, right, I'm actually going to put some painting things. So unless you have anything that suggests otherwise, my first job is to put some water through the airbrush, Raina, so that I can moisten the tip. Hello, sailor. Especially in this humidity as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll want to run just a little bit of water through it, and it basically just gets some water into the channel where the needle lays. That way, when you hit it with paint, paint's not just hitting dry needle; it's just kind of going with the water, since it's all water-based.
Okay.
Paints and
there's no concern about having too much water left within once you've blown it through. I'm assuming it's going to fill the cup with water, then I'm going to spray it into the cleaning cup.
You just need a few drops. Yeah, okay. You don't necessarily need to fill it. Just blow it all out. Make sure everything's working correctly. This is a good chance to make sure that there's no clogs before you even start.
Yeah, that considering I've only used it, let's say I used it so long ago. I mean, air's flowing through it. Okay, so, okay, no worries, Lay. Wait, did Lay host someone? I don't know. I didn't see it. If I missed the host, dude, I'm sorry. But if you host someone else, then that's totally cool. I had no idea. Just in case. Oh yeah, who's on chat? That's a good point. Give me 2 seconds. I should give you some promo. Give me a sec. Let's make that a thing.
Hey, Confuriosa. I don't know. He might kick me off if I say sexy things, Sanjin.
That's totally cool. No worries, Lay. No worries at all. Alright, cool.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double time.
Oh, God.
Poot Pooty.
Totally guessing. So apologies. Thank you so much. Unbelievable. Thank you, Shaitan. That's amazing. I appreciate that. And that's a $9.99 sub as well. Damn, dude. Thank you so much. Hype it up, guys. That's obviously worth 2 emote slots, and we are still trying to keep the levels high so we can do a emote drive later on. Thank you so much, man. Very kind of you. Pooty indeed. Let's just do it. Finally got there. Jesus, I apologise. I was trying to make things all do a thing and work. It wasn't having none of it. I need to work out all the things. Assemble all the things should be paint all the things as well. Oh dear, what an amateur show this is.
Got all these people demanding your attention. I mean,
I know. Okay, we'll airbrush all the things instead. That'll do. That's close enough, right? Okay, cool.
is
Right,
this
we're
what's
there.
supposed to save you time?
Say again?
Is this what's supposed to save you time?
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Hey, Catalyst, how you doing, man? Welcome back. I need you to make me a fidget spinner. Oh god. Oh god, no. Don't be one of them. Don't use a fidget spinner. Do you know, I didn't even know what they were until the local store started sharing them, and then I saw them, like, not sharing them, selling them, then I saw them everywhere. Like, there was adverts for them, and they were on the internet, and people doing tricks with them, and just...
Yeah, I saw people making fun of them before I actually saw it
Yeah,
in real
same.
life. Like, okay, apparently this is a problem. That's neat.
This is a thing. It starts to make me realise how I'm getting old now. I'm just out of touch. I didn't even know what a thing was.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. So, right. I was going to paste thing. I don't believe it. Yeah. So, what we're going to do. So, let's just do that first. Let's run the water through first. So, I've been the right little tart. I've also got a pipette or a dropper or whatever you call it, like this.
Perfect.
So, I'm going to take that out of some clean, fresh water. I'll bring this onto stream actually, just so people see what I'm doing. So, we're using this. So, you got to make it makes a nice, strong, firm, solid. That fit? Yeah, look at that. Fits. Lovely. So it doesn't go anywhere. So normally this is what you do when you're finished and clearing out all the water. This is certainly what me and when Grendler was here, what he was showing me was, let's do that for now. That when I finished a certain colour, I would basically blast out the rest that was in there, clear out as much as I possibly could before adding in the next one.
And if anybody's wondering what that is, that's a cleaning station. It's serving 2 purposes here for Flick. One, it's a holster for his airbrush so he can put it down when he's not actively painting. And the second part is when you're cleaning things out, regardless of what you put in that pot, if you blow it into that top section with the small little holes is a filter. And that will keep any particulate or vapor from like cleaning solutions from getting into the air.
Yeah.
Basically keep you from making a mess. Nice hand modeling.
Thank you. I did my best. I did my best. I need a decent dress though. So yeah, I put some water through it, and as you can see, hopefully you guys can see. I'll show the camera if I can. I think I'm probably already the airline's getting in the way slightly, but there you go. So you can see whilst there's water in there, there's no residue of anything else. It obviously got rid of all the water cleanly through the tip, so we shouldn't have to worry. I don't think.
Right.
Seems okay. Ooh.
Yep. Sounds like everything's flowing right, so water's going through.
Yep.
You got water in the needle chamber, so there's no just dry needle when the paint hits it. And,
okay.
You're good to go ahead and, before you start putting paint in, shake the crap out of your primer.
Shake the crap out of it. Now, is that a technical term? Is there a...
Yeah, that's about as technical as it gets.
Right, okay. Cool. I have a 5-gallon bucket under my desk for clean-outs. A 5-gallon bucket under my desk for clean-outs. Why would you have so big? That's a genuine question as well as a troll. Like, why? Why? Like, I guess so you don't have to move as often. I mean, I cleaned this out once, but then I only used it once, let's say. But whether I need to clean it out every time, I don't know.
So when I switch colors, people generally have like a dump bucket or something that they can dump their paint and waters into. When I do it, I normally dump it into a little trash bin with a liner, so I just take the liner out later, along with the rest of the garbage.
All right, cool. All right, give me 1 second. I'm just going to pick a few models up. I'm trying to think of the most. Let's start with the half marine.
Yeah, sand pail's not a bad idea either. Basically anything that'll hold water.
Oh, okay.
So how many models are you planning on priming for?
As many as we can get through. You might have seen the Instagram and Facebook. We've got 10 Poxwalkers. We've got 5 of the 7 Plague Marines. We've got the Lord of Contagion. We've got a drone. We've got the Tylus Rubio. We've got Trevarion's Broken or Robot. We've got Nikola Tesla. And then we've got this horrendous random free Marine that I'm going to start with just to get into it because this came free with an order from something from somewhere. And I'm going to prime it and use it as a tutorial or a test, or we'll do, I don't know, we'll do some kind of effect on it. But for now,
Okay.
just going to spray all the things.
Just wanted an idea of your workload. So on this brush, it's got quite a large reservoir on the top. You don't need to fill that reservoir. For the amount of work you're doing, it's a significant amount. But
Okay.
I wouldn't fill it any more than halfway, and that's aggressive. So you probably only need to fill it about a quarter way, and we can knock out a few models before we need to refill.
So because I'm intending to prime them all black, and then certain ones that we're not doing non-metallic metals on, ones we're not doing specific techniques on, I'm going to use the Zenithal, generic Zenithal. What I mean by that is obviously that the top down, like I used to with a rattle can, was 45 degrees from the miniature. I was trying to show my face cam. So if my fingers, the miniature was like up here, and we do a pass left to right, a pass back right to left, then you would rotate the miniature around to the back of it, pass left to right, or pass right to left, and that would give you a kind of cartoon style, 45 degree from the top, white down, catching most of the bits that were exposed, I guess is the way to use. It wasn't a certain,
Right.
it wasn't a specific light source. It wasn't highlighting and hitting certain panels or armor platings or anything as technical as that. It was just a generic kind of, and then I would do the rest of it with my own highlighting and brushwork. So in this case, I'll probably end up doing that, or feel like I'm doing that for the most part, but I would like to try potentially on one of the Dark Death Guard, because we're only doing tabletop anyway. It doesn't really matter if appreciating is horrendous. Potentially try and hit, practice using the trigger to only have a slight release of the paint, and then just do very light panel specific highlighting. What I mean by that is like, hitting kneecaps, shoulder pads, pauldrons, whatever, all that kind of jazz. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of the same concepts going on with the rattle can that you will here. It's just the biggest difference is you have more control. So instead of having to hold the can way back from your model, you can kind of get in there and just give it a little bit of paint here and there.
Okay. Got to catch those exposed bits. Oh yeah, got to get them exposed bits. It was the one-armed Sig Marine. Isn't that from The Mask? It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. Flicking out his tubes.
Fugitive.
Out the fugitive, yeah.
Such a great movie.
Flick cleaning his tubes out while wearing rubber gloves. This is not a terms of service violation. The innuendo is going to be strong in airbrushing as it is in fiber arts, it seems. Maybe it's just you guys. Maybe it's something to do with the kind of family. Is that what it is?
It could be.
So tell me, friend, how's it gonna end when the shit goes down and there's no one left to run and get your back? You'll crack, smile, and agree with everything they say. They try to tell you that it's all okay, but it's not in your shot. You're bleeding pretty bad, and you can't stop thinking about the things you never had, like a wife and a kid and the things.
Right, so I've just grabbed the original Sigmarite. We've got Tesla. It's quite a big piece, only one sub-assembly with just his head. We've got Trevarrion. Let me bring it onto screen so you guys are not looking at a blank thing. So on the to-do list, so we're going to start off by doing a all black on everything, basically. I want to try and get black through as many models as I can, then we'll pass through with white, or maybe black all of them. I mean, I just don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. But we've got random half marine that was free and his shield, which I don't particularly care about getting the back properly. It's just blue tacked on. I might just literally hold it and, I don't know, whatever. We'll figure out that one. Like, again, I have no love for this. Literally a free miniature that I just thought I might as well just prime whilst we're messing about. Then just hit what I can. Obviously, I do care about this. This, whilst the light looks really bright, give me a second, there you go, is the miniature from Trevarrion. He was in chat. I don't know if he's still in chat. This is his own personal sculpt. sculpted himself, and he did that box art himself. His paint work is awesome. His sculpt work equally, obviously, amazing. So he's also the man behind the Flixter miniature, which is now with casters, and I've been told today via email that the casting process has even started already, although delivery won't be until August. Still, things are starting. That's very cool. Then we've got the Infamy model of Nikola Tesla. So this was a donation by a user called Tornians, who I haven't really seen for a long, long time, in fairness. Either way, he put the cash in to use this as a test model to learn OSL, and it's quite a jumping into the deep end, so to speak, with OSL sources here. We've got the electricity as well as the 2 light sources on the backpack, at least, if not more, if we wanted to mess about. So lots to do there. So again, we'll be priming them up. And then next on the list after that is de Gondozal's commission, which is this chap who is in 3 sub-assemblies currently. This is the Achilles from Corvus Belli Infinity. And again, I'm going to zenithal this guy up for sure.
I love this show.
Quanks. Oh my god. Quanks, thank you so much for the follow. I just realised, did I completely ignore a follow earlier? I may have missed a follow right at the start. I did. Sarah Aaron. I apologise, Aaron. Thank you for the follow. I remember seeing the animation and just was in mid-flow, and then I forgot to go back to it. So thank you both for your follows. Appreciated. Welcome to the stream, guys. Okay, so yeah, so this is the guy again. So all of these are definitely having black on them. I'm going to zenithal the Infinity one. I think I'll do all of these zenithal as well. What? Call that. No, use that buzzword as you wish. For me, this means adding white from above to give me some idea of where the light's going to hit. That I can use to guide me when I'm adding highlights and shadows and all that kind of jazz. Obviously, there are people using that word in different contexts, so that's what it means to me. That's what I'm going to use it for. Right, so they're all the things. I'm going to put them off to the side, and then after we've gone through this batch, what we'll probably end up doing is we black up these. We probably shouldn't say that too often. If we black up these and then go back through the white, and then after that we've got Tylus Rubio and the entirety of his Death Guard friends, and go through after that. And again, guys, song requests are on. I decided to do that for now. If we run out, it'll just fall back onto the default anyway, so don't feel you have to put something on. We've got over 100 songs in the default playlist, so it doesn't matter. I just didn't want to have another thing running in the background. What I should do, though, is have the song request thing at the top going. There we go. Easy mode. Right. Okay, so once checking that, I'm just going to pour the black straight in. We're not going to use any flow improver, no flow aid, no thinners, none of that jump. Just literally as it comes straight through. Is that correct? That's what we did last time with me and Grenla, so I want to assume you wouldn't advise any different in this situation, potentially because of the humidity or anything like that, Raina?
No, you want to go with the same thing. So just Stynal Res can go through an airbrush by itself. It's made to do so. Plus, it is a primer, so it's got polyurethane in it. Adding flow improver or thinner could mess with that a little bit. If you're ever experiencing a little bit of issue with it, you can add a little bit of water to it, but that's all you ever really want to add to it for a priming layer.
Okay. Oh, I mean, whilst we're here, just in case people are learning with me, I will show if I can get the nice bit of focus in there. So this is saying best apply with a 0.5mm or larger nozzle airbrush at 20 to 30 psi, so 1.5 to 2 bar. It says pour the desired amount of Stynal Res, primer into the airbrush color reservoir. I'm using a bottom feed airbrush, touch jar, blah blah blah. Boring, boring, boring. Then it says 6 to 8, 4 to 6 inches, usual thing from the item you're applying. It doesn't say anywhere about adding in or not adding in any flow improvers. I remember seeing in the other one where it did say exactly that, like you do not need to.
Top line.
Oh yeah, no thinning necessary. Thank you very much. Cool.
Yeah, no problem.
So there you go. That's what we're going to do then.
Yeah, the reason I say if it ever does seem like it's too thick, just based on whatever weather's going on during the day or whatever your location is, a little bit of water won't hurt it because it's still a water-based primer. But other things can disturb the emulsion.
Other things can disturb it. So I'm not.
So if you happen to add like thinner or something to it, it might make the that layer of primer a little bit fragile when it cures. If that kind of makes sense.
I think so, yeah. Teague, we're using an Iwata Eclipse HPCS, which was advised to me by Raina, who's in the chat now, assisting me as we, I don't know, pop the cherry, I guess you would say. Right, so we're not adding loads in. We are going to do quite a lot at once, but we're not going to add tons and tons. So I'm only adding in. I mean, I've barely
you
covered
don't
the
even
needle.
want to fill it up to
No.
a little bit less than a quarter full. If you're doing a few models, yeah, that'll be fine for the first one.
Okay, let's do that then. Right, so first things first, let's try and make sure I've got everything to hand and easy accessible. Let's put that here. Now, I'm stretching the hose ever so slightly, just because my original setup for this was over on the other desk, but I decided actually for the sake of tonight's stream, for priming, it would actually be easier and more comfortable for me whilst I'm here to set up on this. So what I've done is switched out. As you've seen, I've built this kind of, you can't see it, again it looks lovely on stream, but off stream there's cardboard bits everywhere to protect things. I'm not wearing a mask, but I have got, as you can probably see, or certainly hear, door open, window open, so there's decent, what do you call it, a decent airflow. Oops, sorry guys.
And that's a good point to bring up too.
Yeah.
A lot of times, so most of the paints that you're going to find, and even the primers you're going to find, are all labeled as non-toxic. Anything new coming out of the EU or out of the United States is going to be non-toxic. But to that effect, if you're wondering what comes out of an airbrush, the big things are there's a bit of medium, which is going to dissolve. It's mostly water-based, and then there's going to be the pigment itself, which is going to be a bit of a particulate. If you're concerned about cleaning when you're airbrushing, just be aware that particulate can settle out over things, so you might accumulate a fine colored dust in whatever area that you're airbrushing. But for most small projects, you can kind of get away with just having a backdrop or something for the paint to kind of not go everywhere with, if that makes sense. Just kind of keep it localized to your paint station. And that'll keep the particulate down. Having a window open is always a great idea if you can.
Yeah,
if you can
I need to buy. If I start doing full colors, I need to buy a mask. But for now, I'm just for this case.
So is
I'm
that
not
coming out all right? It looks like it's a
you
little
can see
wet.
here. I'm about to say that. So whilst you were talking, I did slow passes, then I gave a bit more pressure on this chest plate, and you can notice from the shininess why I've still not lost any details. So that's absolutely fine. But you can see how I went really light, and then I went not too strong, I'd say, but certainly on the cusp for here.
So even though it's a bit thick and it's still drying right there, the primer that you're using will dry pretty thin.
Will dry pretty
it's
thin.
a very moist. Yeah, it'll dry pretty thin. So once it starts evaporating, you can see it starting to happen now, and you can speed that up just a little bit by pressing down on the trigger with no paint to just give it some air. Sanjin's just dying to tell us what we're doing wrong.
Oh God. See, I brought Rainer in because Rainer knows like how to critique and not make me cry. I feel like Sanjin would make me cry. Like making me critique already, and we barely started. Is like I've literally put paint to one model.
Oh, so I'm the T-ball mode. I gotcha.
Maybe I should bring Sanjin in here as well, and we should do a good cop, bad cop. Bring in two of the.
That looks good. So since you're doing zenithal highlighting or pre-shading, you're gonna want to make sure that you've got good coverage with the initial dark layer. But a lot of times, if you're priming stuff, even with an airbrush, it doesn't necessarily have to be thick and covered every little bit and piece of the model. Just making sure that there's a little bit of primer everywhere because it's still a bit thin. So you can see that there's kind of some spots that look a little grayish.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's fine. That's okay. But since you're doing some top-down pre-shading, you'll just want to make sure that everything's the same kind of tone.
Did I just make that worse? I just made that worse. Hold on one second. I was trying to get the focus so that when I held it in my hand, it was in focus. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Because that's too... Yeah, we'll go with that. Do you still lick the end to get a fine point on an airbrush? I mean, I don't personally. There might be some professionals out there that would advise you differently, but I certainly wouldn't be inclined to do so.
It's too hard to get your tongue in the tip. I've tried.
Tell you what I will say, it's very similar to doing car panels. So when I did the car panels... Whoop, there you go. Hold on, give me a second. That's better. So when I was doing the car panels, the piece of advice I was given was to do the direction the same. Obviously, you're trying to get a smooth consistency. It wasn't to change up and down, left and right, up and down, left and right. It was always do the same thing, left to right. Never start spraying at the point you want to hit, start before, end after. So you go across it all the time. So I'm trying to implement that kind of concept with this. And I'm feeling that does help me just with those basics. But
that's actually a really good point. It's not so important right now for priming, but one of the things I try to say when I'm doing airbrushing on stream is don't ever open up the brush over the model. There's a couple of reasons. The biggest one is that you might have a little bit of dried paint on the very tip of the needle, and when you initially start the air through that, it might take that paint and splatter it all over your model. So you could be 10 hours into a paint job and just completely ruin it.
Is that how you get the splatter effect most likely then? So if I was just to try and fire, I mean, I don't want to cause it, but just impact like that, there, just firing it at the same spot with the kind of short burst, is that going to cause it?
It could cause it, but normally what I do is just kind of open up the airbrush to the side, blow out the tip a little bit, and then start air. And then as I start to bring it over the model, I open up the paint. But you can always kind of spray to the side on like a cloth or a piece of paper or something, just to make sure that the flow is still good, you're not clogged up, and then just checking your needle to make sure that there's no splatter.
Okay. I mean, I've got a piece of towel.
Make sure that.
Oh,
okay, perfect. Yeah,
I've got a piece of towel just here, but it's too bright to put on screen.
I guess one question I have for you, Flick, is do you have a toothbrush or some sort of soft brush to run over the tip of your airbrush yet?
Oh, I wouldn't say it's for the tip as such. I have a toothbrush, but it's the same one I used to get like the flash off of all the miniatures when we were doing the assembly work. So it's this. Let's pop this down. This beautiful old school, and I wouldn't say it's that. I mean, it's soft. It's a toothbrush, but equally, it's not exactly. No, it's not a fine, soft thing.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
So if you ever think that you're having a little bit of flow issue or you're getting a bit of splatter when you're testing off to the side, the first thing you can check is just put a little bit of water on the brush and run the tip of the nozzle over that, and that'll knock any loose paint off of the tip of the needle.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You don't have to do it hard, you just have to kind of get it in there.
You don't have to do it hard, you just have to get it in there. God damn it, if you want to stream. Let's answer some questions and read some chat. Witch King, where did you get the gloves from? Pretty much 99.9% of all my purchases are from Amazon.co.uk because I'm lazy, and having an Amazon Prime account has basically made me think that if my product that I'm purchasing cannot arrive next day, it's not good enough. So that's what happens. So all this stuff's from Amazon. I can show you the box, which may help you find the listing. I will add the listing to my setup, but it's called Omnitex. And this is 200 gloves, black, and they're called Nitrile. Is that the one to remember? There's something, you need the powder-free ones. That's the piece of advice I was given by Raina. Make sure it says powder-free, because the last one is the dust and particulate getting in everywhere and all the things. So, Omnitex, powder-free, and then I just got black because I'm a tart and black is black. And from a streaming perspective, this is an honest situation, thing that I thought about. When you've got a bright white glove or a bright blue glove, it does actually reflect. It does cause glare. It can cause your white balance to go all over the place as well. So having a black, bearing in mind at the time. Thank you, Moses. Thank you very much. I'm using this black surface. Obviously ties in. Now appreciated right now. We're basically on a black surface with a black glove, painting everything black. So it's going to be very hard to see a lot of things. But obviously when we're using colour as well, it's going to help bring that out. So it does make a difference. So yeah, but again, Amazon.co.uk for all the things, dude. I'm almost happy with that. I mean, depends how thin you are. It's very hard to tell because it's black, obviously. And again, on a black background, if I put some horrendous... it's just far too bright, but...
That looks nice and smooth. You can go ahead and put it down and move on to your next model for now if you'd like, and then take another look at it once it's completely dried and make sure that everything looks good.
Okay. All right,
Captain
cool.
Atwood actually brings up a really good point. So sometimes, yeah, when you're doing some really fine detail with an airbrush, you may have to open up the air over the model, and then it's doubly important to make sure that the tip is clean.
So explain that. So we're talking when we're doing fine detail work, as opposed to doing this priming when you're trying to hit a certain specific point. So we're talking about when we're using color later on in our career, yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you want to get in like on a very small panel or a piece or something you want to just kind of shade down or something like that, and you can't really open up the airbrush to the side very easily and keep your aim. So sometimes you just have to very slowly open up the air and then open up the paint. You want to make sure that that needle is very clear when you do that.
That's one of the big points for me that scares me of learning the airbrush, because if this, I know Grendel will cry, but let's say I start using this and actually I really enjoy airbrushing, and I start to go towards that dark side of looking to this for some of my base coating, maybe for layers, start looking at mid-tones with it. Lo and behold, adding in highlighting as well, Like, for example, again, let's do a bit of cross-promotion here. The Geiger fell hand you did, Rainer, was awesome. And you whatever you honestly appreciate, that's a horrendous buzzword that I don't actually know the definition of, but you highlighted all the panels on the Space Marine's armor ever so slightly to give this kind of thing before going in and doing any brushwork with the detail on the edges and all the trim. So was that something where this kind of idea of starting on the panel comes into effect?
Yeah, there are a few smaller pieces where it's hard to aim sometimes, and you get that aim lined up just right, and you've got it in the right spot, and you're ready to open up paint, but you don't want to reset your aim, because it is difficult to get that down sometimes. Obviously, you guys are watching it right now, but you don't hold the airbrush right next to the model, so there's a little bit of distance, and that's important to maintain. It just, yeah, you gotta be extra careful with it.
It's interesting to me as well, though, because I can't really show you this as easy, but so I want to aim down the sight like a gun. I want to hold it like a gun, so I'm not pressing the trigger or holding it on the. Let's switch to the face cam so you can see Rainer, because there's a stream delay as well. So let's just go to our face cam for 2 seconds. I'll try and explain what I mean here. Let's just go to that one. So. Lighting, there we go. Right, so airbrush. When I'm painting, I'm going to try and show this down the camera. I'm trying to aim at where the nods are going. I'm not like aiming down the sight, holding it on my shoulder, looking down, one eye closed and looking down the barrel, so to speak. I'm trying to figure out kind of how I'm using my hand. So I'm holding it in thumb, first finger, and using thumb and second finger, sorry. And using first finger to pull the trigger. So I find myself holding it here and using almost like a line of sight down my shoulder, if that makes sense. And it's very hard to show. Look straight on there. So when I'm looking at the model, I hold the model straight in front of me, and I'm doing this. So I am actually lining up my right eye. Whether that helps, I don't know. Whether I'm doing it with the air gun with the airbrush when I was doing body work on my race car, you didn't have to be so specific. It was just kind of where the paint shows up is fine. But with this, I'm finding that I'm trying to like aim down the sight without doing a full shoulder hook. That makes sense? And at all, it's really hard to explain.
No, it completely makes sense. So a lot of learning how to airbrush is learning how to hold your airbrush or airbrushes and getting used to that, because even individual airbrushes from manufacturer to manufacturer or model to model, they feel a lot different. Like things like weight, where the trigger is, how large the trigger is, with the length of the chassis, etc. So they're all a little bit different. But one of the main things I keep finding when I go back to it is that I paint at kind of an angle.
Is what, sorry?
So I can see, I can paint it. I paint at kind of an angle. So okay. I'll hold my brush in my right hand, and I'm probably coming in on the model at maybe like a 20 or 30 degree angle. So
yeah,
I can see.
I think I'm here.
I can see kind of like where my lights are positioned, which are mostly top down, and then I've got some ambient lights to the side. I'll see mostly where the wet paint is landing as I go.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm looking for. So I don't have to try to look around the reservoir of paint or around the tip or anything like that.
Okay, cool.
And you'll probably fall into that. You're basically holding it correctly. Think of it as kind of almost holding a pen, but the pen has a trigger.
This is kind of what I'm doing. Yeah, exactly that. So, Cody Jones, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciated that. Welcome him. Give me a second. I've just noticed. Is my overlay also spazzing out, or are we good? Oh dear. No, it's just taking a while to update. Cody Jones, thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate that. All right, yeah. So I am holding. I'd say that 20 to 30 is almost kind of naturally where I'm happy to have it. I'm trying to show that angle, but it's very tough without pouring paint everywhere. But I think that's where I am. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's generally what I kind of fall into comfort-wise, is something like that. Not necessarily completely to the side or completely down the barrel. It's just a bit of an angle.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to put that initial very first dude down as done. I feel like it's thin I feel like all areas are covered. It's a nice thin layer. No details have been lost. I'm actually I'm quite chuffed with that. So trying to show you guys, like,
Isn't that nice?
look at it. That's certainly better prime than you get with a brush. Will it get better than a rattle can? I'd say so. Rattle cans tend to have a kind of a splattered textured effect. It's never as smooth, but equally,
Right.
you know, the rattle can hasn't been horrendous, but this certainly, I feel like this is an upgrade for sure.
Yeah. So the big thing that I kind of sell to people as far as airbrushing when they ask should I or shouldn't I airbrush is what kind of priming do you do? So if you do brush on primer and you're happy with that, that's fine. If you do rattle can primer, it's probably just worth the money alone to get an airbrush, just a cheap airbrush, nothing fancy or anything like that, something under 100 US.
Well,
And you will get way better atomization out of an airbrush than you will a rattle can any day.
well, it's interesting you say that because mine, for example, again, two things I want to bear with me. Teagues has said, thanks for showing this on stream. I've never used an airbrush before. This is good info. Which kind of makes me feel, damn it, I wish I'd put some non-copyright music on. We could have done a introduction to airbrush, but never mind. On that note of the airbrushes, my compressor, actually the one I bought again from Amazon, did come with two completely generic arbitrary airbrushes. I'll bring one out just to show you now. One's a side feed, one's a top feed, I think, if that's a thing. But for example, I've not even opened it. So this is another one of the ones. The other one is opened, but just to show things. Let me just pop this down somewhere before I end up putting black all over myself.
Okay. So the one with the reservoir on the bottom, the glass jar, is a siphon feed. So the difference between that and a gravity feed, which is what the Iwata is, where the cup is on top, is that it's using the vacuum effect of the air flowing by to pull paint up and out of that reservoir.
Okay, and this one is a side feed then. Is that correct? Because this is the one that I thought was a side feed.
Yeah, it looks like
Or
it.
on the
So
back,
the cup
isn't it?
is set to the side, and it's literally to give people the ability to see
Yeah,
down the
side
barrel, kind of like what you were describing. These aren't a bad option compared to a top feed, but there is a bit of extra cleaning that goes into cleaning that side breach. So just be mindful of that when you're looking at it. Like Sanjin is saying, gravity feed's the best, especially for miniature painting. What you'll notice is that when you're miniature painting with an airbrush, you're using very small amounts of paint. I use more flow improver than I use paint, just hands down. So when you're using a siphon feed like that, you see how large that jar is, and it's got kind of something that drops down, and then the cup that comes down somewhat to the side is the same thing. So it's basically pulling stuff up from the bottom. It's kind of wasteful just for the amount of paint that you'd run through. But on the other hand, if you have like a large batch of priming to do or something along those lines, you could crack out this brush and not worry about having to clean it before you have to do anything else or something along those lines. So it does have its uses. It's just less suited for miniature painting than it is for like large scale airbrushing work, like t-shirts or posters or something like that.
Yeah, indeed. See, this is one thing. My previous experience in airbrushing before I got into miniature painting and brushwork was, like I say, was automotive through the basis of my race cars. So,
and a lot of the same concepts come over. It's just a different scale. That's really the biggest difference.
I'm kind of hoping that I pick this up relatively quickly as far as technique goes, and then it's as far as laying down consistency, not doing it too strong, not getting it too wet, all that kind of jazz. The bit
this
where
is a good time to practice that.
Exactly. And then once I've got past priming, the bit that I'm going to really struggle and where all the the magic happens is the specific techniques to get certain effects on the miniatures. Aim, targeting, where you hold your brush seems to be the key things here. So again, sorry guys if I'm missing chat. Obviously me and Raina trying to give you guys as much information as possible. Again, Raina is joining me on Discord. The voice you're hearing, top right hand corner, Raina72. If one of my mods could do shout out for Raina72 as well, if there is a mod here. I'm not even sure if we've got any mods today. I might have to do it myself. Make sure you give this guy a follow as well as me. All these follows coming in, I appreciate that, but make sure you do the same to him. American friend, obviously knows what he's talking about. Airbrushes, his go-to. Not that bad with a brush either, right here. Not that bad with a brush either.
Right. That is a good point to bring up. I'm asked a lot how much airbrushing I do and what I actually airbrush on a model. And to be fair, I spend probably 75% of my time just doing traditional brush work.
Now, is that because of the amount you're doing, or is that because of the way it applies? Like, what I mean by that is, so I would find that airbrushing to me personally as a tool in my arsenal, in my workshop here, would be to be doing what I'm doing now: priming, base model, base color, maybe initial highlighting, and then the rest, when you get to more intricate details, I would naturally want to go to brush. Would you say that's why your ratios are as they are, because that's just the way the work goes, or?
Yeah, it just depends on. It depends a lot on the model that I'm painting. So doing the priming, doing the base layers, things like that, that's perfect for an airbrush. It's really easy to do in general. Then I would probably go in and do detail work, like down to. Trying to think of a good example. For example, like on your Tesla model, I might go in and do some work on the goggles or something, like hit the lenses up with the airbrush before I'm finished doing base coats. But I would go in and cut in the strap with a traditional brush, just because I can get nice tight lines without having to worry about masking anything.
Okay.
So a lot of the work, just the order of operations that you're doing things, you want to go largest things to smallest things, and then just cut in the details by hand.
I love the terminology as well. So I rarely hear cut in until I can do airbrushes. You know, people who use airbrushes as either a primary or as a significant tool. You know, if you talk to more like brush-based ones,
it a lot too.
It's just it's interesting to me. It's not like a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just curious. So, like I say, Grenler's, for example, I never hear him saying cutting in the details, but I hear it obviously in a lot of airbrushing streams. Is that something that you picked up from airbrushing tutorials? Is that just a way of describing something that is specific to airbrushing?
I probably picked it up through tutorials and.
So you heard like everyone else, yeah. You pick up someone else saying, okay.
But the real reason that I keep thinking of it in that term is the airbrush is soft. So the lines that you get from an airbrush are always going to be soft to an extent. You can minimize that with some angling, you can do stenciling and things like that. But when you quote unquote cut something in, you're doing very hard, sharp lines. So for example, the headband that he has holding on his goggles, I would go in and make nice sharp lines around that, differentiating where the hair is, even though I would probably go in and airbrush the skin tones and the hair.
Okay.
And then even the hair where it meets the skin, I would go in and quote unquote cut that in, tidy it up, make sure it looks different from the skin, it hasn't blended in.
Lost my aim there. It's quite interesting, doing something slightly smaller. Already the challenge I'm getting now, I'm finding myself finding my aim on the cork below and then coming up to the model just to make sure that I'm in the right location. And
I'll say this is going to be a great model for you to use the airbrush on, considering how much OSL it has. That's something I would go in later after my traditional brush work and do again with an airbrush. So you don't necessarily have to stop after doing all the base layers and going in with a traditional brush. It just depends on the techniques and effects you want.
I'm trying to get that little bit of hair there, but I'm doing it enough anyway, so I shouldn't really. I'm just curious now.
Sorry, Moses. OSL is object source lighting.
Yeah, object source lighting.
So the reason I bring this up, I don't know if you had a chance to see the rest of the model.
I'll show you in 2 seconds.
Been working on this, but it's got a large amount of lightning and a few glowing items on the back. So the airbrush can give you some nice fuzzy, non-distinct areas where you have shade.
Yeah, I like
the best part is that you can generally do that over another color, and it will blend in almost naturally.
So with a brush, doing OSL is quite involves a lot of glazing, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a precision brush, as well as a plan. I'd say that's the number one thing. Like, I've been watching so many videos, and it's having a plan with a brush for OSL makes a real strong difference. With an airbrush, it's naturally softer, like Rain has said. So because it's softer, it lends itself more to doing OSL style effects, where you aim at the light source. And obviously, I guess distance is a way, Raina, I would say, that further away gives you more of a glow, and obviously that glow, it's like anything, it'll go a further amount, but obviously it'll be softer on the edges. If you were closer towards the miniature, you'd only have this mount, but it will be stronger. So it'll be like starting close and then kind of doing this or something like that. Obviously techniques vary, but that's how I would approach it, just from a theoretical point of view. Obviously you're joining me as a
factor of that and amount of paint, yes.
Yeah. Cool.
So the further away you hold it, obviously the larger your cone is coming out of the end, because basically you're just working with a cone of paint that's coming out of it. So just think of it as kind of like a flashlight.
Yeah. Just gonna hit this thing. Let me just go back up. I do the majority of my Dark Elder Ravager with my airbrush, and I loved it. Smaller stuff is still causing me issues, but I think practicing. Well, that's still going to be the thing, isn't it? I think naturally the style and airbrushing in general, the smaller the thing is going to cause much more of a struggle. It is just by its nature harder to aim.
Right.
Precision is one of the key skills, I guess, that you'll improve as time goes on.
Your Iwata Eclipse is a great brush for just all-purpose work. There are other brushes that are a little bit better at doing detail work. So the brush that you have right now has a 0.35
Yes.
millimeter tip on it. There are things that go down to like I think, what is 0.15 about as small as they go? I'm so bad with my needle measurements, but a finer tip brush can help you get some tighter detail into small areas and like tighter edges and lines if you're trying to go for something like that. So having a different brush with a different needle size available is always an option if you're really getting into airbrushing and wanting to do some.
So is that why people like yourself, like Front Nasty, I don't know, I'm going to mention Sanjen, obviously, the guys like the Long War guys, so you got Kenny and Slowfuse, is that why they would have multiple airbrushes, is for, like any kind of thing, it's a different size brush, just like having traditional brushes, a different size brush for a different purpose?
It's one of the two main reasons. So yeah, the ability to have different sized needles, being able to do different kinds of work. Just so everybody in chat knows, I run the brush that Flick is using here, an Iwata HPCS, gravity feed, just like that. That's my kind of all-purpose brush now. Before that, my all-purpose brush is now my fine detail brush, which is a Badger Sotar 2020, because it has a slightly smaller.
That's the one. I was trying to think of the name. Sotar 2020.
And there are multiple.
Ooh, a bit
right. And there are multiple brands, multiple brushes. Just check the documentation. You can find out what does what, and probably find some decent product reviews out there. But when I go in and do some like fine detail work, for example, if I were doing the glowing lights and stuff on his backpack, I would probably come in with the Sotar and do those because they're somewhat smaller.
Okay, interesting.
The other reason to have two airbrushes is to hot swap your colors.
Which saves the issue I was talking to you about swapping from the black to the white.
Right. So if you're in a rush or you're doing some work that requires you to go back and forth between multiple colors, instead of changing out the color in the cup of your airbrush, you can have two airbrushes ready to go and go back and forth between them. So I've had a few opportunities on stream so far where I'm airbrushing with my Iwata, and before I continue on, I need to go in and do a small detail in a completely different color. Well, instead of dumping out all my paint, I just go over to my other airbrush, load that up, do a little bit, and kind of go back and forth.
Right.
What makes that easier is something called a quick disconnect coupler.
Which is what I've got here.
Yes, and I'm a big fan of those, regardless of whether you have one airbrush or multiple airbrushes, because it allows you to just pull the air supply right off the brush.
Yeah, that's one thing that even when Gwenda was here, it was like, oh, that's very cool. I don't have one on mine.
So yeah, when I do multiple airbrush painting, I just literally swap the line between the brush that I'm using instead of having multiple line.
We'll hit that too strong. Again, there you go, let that hit dark. I mean, it's not ruined any details, but it's so shiny, I know to stop, so I'll wait for that to dry and come back on it. I'm finding the lightning is quite the challenge. When you look at it, like, I'm fairly confident how smooth that is, and no issue.
Just keep dusting it a bit. Keep your brush back and go over it a few times. Let it dry. Go over it a few times. Let it dry. You'll definitely want to get some pre-shading on that, but getting the nice dark base tone
exactly
will be helpful.
Especially the lightning as well. We're going to hit this with. Oh my god, we're going to hit this. I've already started.
Sanjin and Low Life and bring up a good point. I'm with Sanjin. I use Silly Putty a lot nowadays.
You use Silly? Wait, what? That's a tangent. What are we on about now?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should explain. So we're talking about masking.
Mask.
which is another airbrushing technique that you'll get familiar with.
Well,
like,
I'm
if you use
aware of
your
it through
airbrush
watching
for
other people's
time.
work and stuff. I've obviously watched you and others paint, and I know they use like templates for certain things. So I'm assuming masking, same thing. If you're going to mask off details to get a level, to get a straight line or whatever.
So anybody out there looking at doing some just basic masking for lines, or just keeping your airbrush paint or your paint job safe, do not use traditional painter's masking tape. Spend a couple dollars, find some model-based stuff like Tamiya. They make a masking tape that's for model painting, or using something like frisket paper. But for organic things, just to protect your paint job while you're working on something, getting out a thing of silly putty and literally stretching it out and wrapping it around your model is a pretty safe way to mask it.
Really? That surprises me.
It's very low tack. So the important thing you have to remember when you're masking something is that airbrush paint's really fragile. It's very thin. It's applied in multiple very, very thin layers. And just the act of you rubbing it with your finger can take it off very easily. So having something that can stay on your model and be painted over without ruining the paint underneath is very important.
Oh. Bear with me 2 seconds. Pixie Lou, thank you so much for that host. Welcome everyone. Pixie Lou, new streamer. Look, Pixie, you'll be proud of me. I'm learning to use an airbrush for the first time. Step 1, paint things black. Step 2, purple and pink and blue harlequin white. Isn't that how it works? But yeah. How you going? Welcome all. Mr. Dongles is in. Julian Art, how you doing? Pixie, how you doing? Thank you so much, my dear. Very appreciated. Hope you had a great stream. Yeah, so, sorry, continue on. So we're talking about, at this point, masking off. I'm just going to let this dry a bit because I hit that lightning or the electricity a bit strong at the top. So I'm finding on the more intricate, this is a very good practice for intricate aiming. So what I mean by that, I was losing track of, you can see here on this bit, that like there's blast marks. I was firing it here on purpose, so knowing well, that's where I was aiming and then moving it to where I wanted to go. So I was finding that helped me a lot, actually.
Moving the model instead of the airbrush is a very valid way of doing it. I still do that a lot. So half the time I'm moving my airbrush, half the time I'm moving the model.
Yeah. So I mean, again, this is the wonders of Twitch. So I've learned that from watching others. So I was watching. I can't remember who did it initially. I think it was actually Next Level, but like I say, yourself's done it. I'm sure Sanjan's done it. And, Slow Fuse, whatever. But it seems to help. Generally, another tip someone gave me, and you can kibosh this, or you can say that's true, is that someone said if you can see the paint going on, you're doing it too quick. Now that's true of car spraying, because you can see, if you're like, where has it gone? It's like, you can see it building up you're doing it too quickly. You shouldn't dust to the point where it's actually doing anything, and then the next pass you'll see it, that sort of thing. Would you say that's true? Or is that too much?
I would say that's true. So a lot of times when I'm adding color to something, I'm not actually seeing the paint accumulate on it. I'm watching the paint dry. And what that means is the reflection of my painting lights off of the model, where I see it slightly wet, I know that's where the paint is hitting, and it's going to start slowly building up, because I keep it very thin.
Oh, thank you.
Just give you an example on ratios and what I'm... Yeah, 1% paint, 99% air. It's always a good
Actually, 1% air, 99% air. So 100% hot air from the Glaswegian. Nothing but hot air. Oh yeah, okay, here's another one. So again, learning this through Twitch, putting your finger on the end, pulling the trigger so that it blows back into and does mixing if you're mixing paint. Is that a good way of doing it? Is that dangerous? Is that going to damage the airbrush anyway?
No, that's not going to damage the airbrush. So what's happening is basically there are two channels that run down your airbrush, and they meet up at the tip. There's the air, and then there's the paint. The paint's released by the needle being pulled back, and then the air is a valve that's underneath the trigger. So when you seal up the tip of your Awada like that by putting your finger over the end, the air has nowhere to go except back through where the needle is.
Okay.
I wouldn't suggest it necessarily to mix up your paint. I would definitely take a brush or something into your reservoir or whatever you're pre-mixing in and stirring it up and things like that. But right before you start painting, you can backfloat a bit to make sure that there's no unmixed paint or
Is that
anything
the term,
chunky kinda sitting
backflow?
in there. Yeah, it's backflow.
Okay.
And what that'll do is that'll push any paint that's kind of sitting along the needle back into the pot.
So you wouldn't suggest it for mixing, but just what
It's
is it?
more for like if you have a clog or you just want to make sure that the flow is like if something's not coming out very easily, you might have a bit of a clog or a congestion along the needle chamber. Just giving it a bit of backflow, letting it bubble. You don't want to give it full air.
Okay.
That can help. Another thing that can help, especially when you have a flow issue, you can take off the back of your airbrush without disconnecting it or anything. Loosen the needle, and then pull the needle back slightly, and then push it back forward.
Okay. Give me a second, Ryan. We just had a multiple hosts all at once, so I need to thank a lot of people.
Absolutely.
We just had Oil Draconis come in and host. We had Skigama come in and host, and then we had Blitzsqueak. Three lovely gents. Thank you so much. Oriel, a French supreme painter. This guy does not get the exposure that he should. Go and follow him. Wait for his next stream. Watch him. His recent work on the Space Walls he's done is amazing. You know, as a cosmic corgi hater myself, even I appreciated the fine work by Oriel. Go watch him. Go check him out. Trust me. Skeeg, thank you so much. Appreciate it then. Obviously, one of the more active members, as I'm sure you're aware. Find him all over the community. So thank you so much, man. Watched him do his Grey Nights today.
I love
And
this
obviously,
show.
Lipsqueak is the man responsible for all the alerts you're seeing on this stream. So thank you so much. Oh, look at the Blipsqueak face. They got the emotes as well. So yeah, thank you guys. And Toon is cool. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that, man. Toon is indeed cool. I see it done with the name. I like it. Toon. Get it. Very cool. Must be one of Blip's fans. So thank you so much, guys. Welcome in. We are learning to use an airbrush. So this is completely new to me. I've used it once before when we had Grendler, the Swedish streamer, come over here to the UK just when he was over for the Warhammer Fest weekend. He guided me through priming some others. So now we've gone through a whole bunch of assembly the last couple of weeks, and now we're going through and kind of priming all the things, or giving it a shot anyway. It's not going to be perfect by any means, but we are trying to hit most of the areas. So we're joined on stream in Discord by Rainer72. His URL is top right. He's offering his advice, help, tips, supports, moral, and physical.
Yeah, the more support I provide, the larger that font becomes.
Is that what it is? Is it registered? Oh, okay. I'll need to do some serious increasing already then. Also in chat, we've got Sanjen helping out as well. He's also known painter for his airbrush. And we've got other people as well. Again, guys, it is obviously it's an open forum. Pixie Lou uses an airbrush. I'm sure she can chime in, and we've got others. So, as always, guys, we are a community, a family here. So if you see me doing something horrendously wrong and Rainer's missed it, let me know. Equally, if you have a question to ask, I'm sure Rainer will enjoy entertaining you with answers whilst I'm doing all the boring priming.
Lowlife actually brings up a good point too with the backflow. Yeah, switching colors is a great time to do that because it makes sure that there's no like
Say that
no
again,
paint
sorry. What
from
did
your
Lowlife
previous
say?
paint.
Apologies.
Oh, he was saying the backflow between switching colors.
Between switching colours, okay.
Yes, so if you're going from something like a red to a yellow, especially because yellow is a very to me, it's a synergy color. It enhances whatever it's mixed with. So if you have any sort of other paint in your airbrush, it's probably going to taint the yellow.
Yes.
So you want to make sure the needle chamber is clear. So doing a little bit of backflow and then just checking your flow to the side before you start applying paint will keep you from having a bit of your old paint mixed up with it.
Done too much there again. I keep hitting that bit too hard. So when I'm doing detail work, I'm pulling the trigger slightly too much. So I'm dusting very nicely and just, oh my lord, that's loud. Holy, need to turn that down. Jesus. Is that really loud for you guys as well? Oh, blimey.
Flexture brush.
Thanks to Brush indeed. Thank you so much, Oriel. I appreciate that resub, man. Welcome. Thank you so much. 2 months in a row. And oh my god, you made us all deaf. Right, so I need to turn that down somehow. I don't understand that one. That one alert is so much louder. I think it's because I've turned. No, it shouldn't be. Maybe it's just for me. I've got my audio set to a different level to the stream, and I think I've turned myself up so I can hear you, Raina, over the music that's being requested. And then I think because of that alert, it's generally loud anyway. It ended up in me being basically deaf.
Yeah, sorry for being so low.
No, it's not your fault. It's fine. I also find myself listening to the airflow. Now, this will sound very weird. It's very hard to explain on stream, but as I'm doing this, there's a difference from when I'm missing and it's hitting the back here to when I'm hitting the model. I hear the air bouncing off of the model. That makes sense. I'm using that to assist my aim as well. Is that something you find to use a lot, or is that just me being weird?
No, actually, that's a really good point to bring up. It's not something I actively think about a lot, but it's something I do. There's two factors to that. So not only am I listening for the air whistling off the model, basically, so the airflow around creates kind of a a cavitation around it. It's going to create that sound. So model is being hit by air at that point. The other thing is just how the air feels against the model. You can kind of get a feel for it after some practice. Like, oh, the model is pulling in my hand a little bit this way. I think I'm aimed just about right.
Oh, interesting. I never even thought about that.
A lot of it's just feel. It's one of those things you have to practice to get it, but just being aware of it's a good thing.
Ah, cool. Okay. It's louder than you, the compressor, Discord, and the music put together. Yeah, indeed. That alert is loud. See, everyone's loud. What? I can't hear. All right. So we need to test that alert somehow because all the alerts are loud. But because we're on song requests, which I've only got one bit left anyway, so maybe I'll stop that in a minute. Maybe we'll have a pause on the song request and we'll go back to my Spotify. Because the way my audio works in my setup, my Spotify is separated by audio, so I can adjust the audio from the music completely differently. Here, when we're on song requests, we're just using desktop audio, which is the same place that the alerts come. So this follow should be slightly quieter. Thank you, Nolan, for the follow. I appreciate that, man. Welcome to the stream. But it means that the audio for the music is as well. So what I might end up doing is turning the desktop boost down and then the music up, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. Right, so we're back on. That's very zen of you, Flickster. I hear the paint hitting the model. Yeah. Oh dear. Right. Okay, so if I missed anything on chat, I apologise, guys. Welcome everyone in who's joining from all the hosts. We've had a bunch of hosts all at once, so I appreciate everyone visiting. We are, as I say, going through, just doing priming, but it's the very first time I've used the Airbrush on air, and it's the first time I've used it unsupervised. So what I did was I brought someone in to supervise me. So we're joined by Raina72.
Hello.
There you go. And I'm just going through the collection of models from various places that we've been building over the last couple of weeks on the stream. I'm going to be priming them up. Oh, Dead Senpai as well. Dead Senpai, what an amazing name. Yeah, so they're all from various places. These are all the projects you will see on the stream in the next couple of months, knowing me, probably next couple of years. And yeah, we're just going to go through them all. So this is another one. Again, I'm just building out. I don't know if Trevarian's still here, but you should know him. He is actually a streamer here on Twitch. So this sculpt was created by him. He's also done a paint, the box art for it himself as well. So he's a Golden Demon winning painter as well as a very, very skilled sculptor. So you can actually go and purchase this from his channel if you wish. Exclamation mark sculpting. He is in that along with a bunch of sculpting friends as well. So go check all those guys out and Stanley Trevarian, as I will be painting this up at some point in the near future.
Here's a question for you, Flick. Did you clean that resin?
Did I clean this one? Yes. Ooh, wait a minute. Did I clean this one? Yes. No, I did. Don't panic me. Okay. All of the resin's been cleaned of all the flash. This one, I think, got dunked, but didn't get a full scrub, but I'm going to risk it. So we'll find out what happens. There'll be a good test anyway. But certainly, we did clean Tylos. Rubio has been cleaned for sure. I also cleaned Tesla, but Tesla was still shiny, so I wasn't sure even on that one how it was going to take. But it seems so far to be okay, so...
It's one of the things that I want to point out to anybody looking at an airbrush is that cleaning resin models is doubly important. Since the layers of primer and paint are so much thinner, if you have a little bit of release agent still on the model, it can definitely cause it to peel pretty easily. You'll get some cracking, some chipping, pieces of paint may flake off.
So you'll see here, let me talk through this. I'm doing this with a much higher level of caution. I've kept my finger exactly where it is, the same amount of very thin flow, and I'm moving the model each time. The reason being, this particular sculpt has a lot of line work, a lot of intricate small lines across the surface for all the panels of the robot. So I don't want to fill those at all. So if you notice, it is slowly but surely changing the color to our black. Thank you, Valericia, for the follow. Welcome to the stream. But I'm moving the model more than the airbrush. I'm just taking my time. Reason being, as I said, I'll let go now. Because there are these thin panel lines. Notice, hopefully you guys can see that the actual indentations are not that deep. So whilst I want them to go black, I don't want to fill those lanes with the particulate. So unlike the one over here for Tesla or our Sigma, which it's a larger scale, much more bold details. Not as many fine lines. We were kind of a bit more. I was closer in proximity, as well as I was probably using a bit more flow of the paint. Same amount of air. I'm consistent with my air. I'm always fully down, just because that's something I like to do personally, to have the airflow exactly the same pressure. And I'm just learning how much of the trigger to pull to allow the paint and all that kind of jazz. I recently started using Style and Res primer. It's fantastic. Yes, this is what we're using here. It's all Style and Res. I've got the black, white, and grey for all the specific uses. Today we're only going to be using, as far as I'm concerned, unless Raina wants me to try the grey as a lesson. My intention is to only do the black and the white for the moment. But we can try, we can play. But they are amazing so far. But then again, this is the thing. I was very lucky in that I got advised what gun to buy, all the bits and bobs around it. So I didn't have the experience of having something subpar initially and going, I tried that when it was rubbish, I moved to this, it was amazing. I've just gone straight in and gone, well, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be nice. I've known a few people who have tried to pick up airbrushing and gotten some just poor equipment. Not necessarily their fault, just equipment fails on them, and spending a lot of time trying to learn the airbrush while you're fighting the equipment at the same time is not fun.
I can imagine, because I've been very lucky.
Captain Atwood, cruise control?
Sorry?
I think he's asking about paint flow cruise control. Not quite sure the term. Well, cruise control would suggest that when you set it to a level, to a setting, and then you just let that go. As in that's what you go with. So I'm guessing where I said that I'm holding the airbrush at full speed, the airflow at pure power, and the paint flow is being controlled. I'm just holding my finger at the same point, and then using the model. Maybe he's saying that's what he means by. I'm just basically on. I think Sanjin might be onto it as well. Some airbrushes have a limiter on the needle, so you can limit how far back you can pull the needle. So you
I see, like a. Okay.
Which is handy. If you're especially stuff like priming, where you just literally need a consistent flow all the time, you can set something like that. I don't believe I
don't think this does.
The Iwata does not have a limiter on it.
Oh, I see. So then you could just literally pull it back full blast, and full blast would actually be not full blast, but per se it would be whatever you set it to.
Right, and you'll literally just feel the needle stop at a certain point.
Oh, that's a kind of a cool idea.
It's handy, especially for things like this. Now, if you're doing actual paint work, you'll probably want to keep your needle free to be able to go up and down as you please. But like when you're just knocking out tens and tens of models, it sucks. It takes a while, and your fingers start to cramp up. It's easy just to hold back all the way and just let it go.
Reliance, yes, the whip, that's a good point. If someone can do an exclamation mark whip or exclamation mark server for me, that'd be awesome. We will do a trip. It is Wednesday. We will go into the whip gallery. I mean, I do it every stream really, but just for reiteration, At some point today, we will take a break from this, give my finger a rest, I'll grab a drink, we'll let Rainer get a drink for as well to help soothe his voice, and we'll go and do a whip gallery visit. So if you guys got anything you've been working on, whether it's sculpting or painting, whether it's airbrush or traditional brush, doesn't matter. Get involved. If you stream, if you don't stream, does not matter. Show us what you've been hobbying, and we'll go through it. So this is interesting. I'm trying to be as light as I can, but I can still see. Obviously the original color in certain, like in the recesses. Do you see it? Like if I hold it here, you can see it around this area here, which makes me want to focus on that area. But I know if I do that, I'm going to build it up. So do I just do multiple passes? And what's the go-to here?
So what you're seeing is actually kind of partially zenithal in a way. So the air is kind of passing over the holes and recesses because of the detail of the model, keeping it from kind of flowing in very easily. What you have to do is just kind of give it a pass directly down at that recess to make sure that it gets in there, and just kind of go light, give it a couple passes. This paint's fairly thin, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about covering detail, but obviously, like you're saying, you don't want to just fill it in with paint. Veiled Broom, the brush that Flick is using right now doesn't have that limiter on it. So it's just the needle goes straight in, it locks into place, and then you can adjust the needle a little bit in and out, but it does not have a limiter.
To be fair, I'm not going to complain about that fact, because actually I feel like that's teaching me something here. I'm having to be very soft with my movements, make sure that I'm aware how much pressure I'm putting down.
Yeah, it's not a necessary feature, it's just one of those things that comes in handy from time to time.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, I can definitely see its benefits. I can see its how much it would help me now, for sure. But again, no, this is just setting a foundation. I'm still going to go over this myself, so I'm not far off calling this. I'm going to try and get, again, do the detail around his eyes. Oh my, that's better. It wasn't as loud that time. I'm not even looked up to see who it is yet. Gorgeous, gorgeous person. Ronin!
Please don't forsake the brush flick.
Don't
Watching
worry, bro.
Airbrush
There's plenty of traditional brushing to go around.
Don't worry. Don't forsake the brush flick. Watching airbrushes. Don't worry. We're priming. We're priming and prepping. We're learning. We're going to be doing some base colors probably at the maximum. I've still got lots of traditional brush technique I want to learn, practice, improve upon, and all that kind of jazz. So never fear. This will never take primary weapon in the fight against meh painting. But yeah, it's certainly a tool, and I'm certainly of that school where it has its place and its use, and this is one of them for sure. The coverage I'm getting here with this priming, far superior to that what I normally get, which is outside with an airbrush, with a rattle can, sorry. And the other thing to bear in mind is I am in the UK. The weather is questionable at best at some times, so when I do get to prime, sometimes I'm fighting against the elements, strong winds, whatever, insects getting in the way. I've had all of it, trust me. I have to spray outside, as most people do. So this allows me to bring my priming inside into the studio and not have to worry about it as much. So I'll be using the airbrush for priming, and maybe for some base coats. We're talking about potentially basing the excuse me, the flesh terrors with the airbrush, just to see how it goes. So I'm surprised Flick hasn't tried to airbrush Shazam yet. Hey, Spectre Dave is here. How you doing, man? Airbrush hype indeed. And Grenler's here. Oh, look at all the stars coming in. Check it out. So Grenler and Spectre Dave, also streamers. Make sure you go follow them. Grenler, it was the one that was over here as part of the Swedish invasion. Him and Gatemace came over to the UK for Warhammerfest, and it was him, it was Gren that helped me to do this for the first time. So tonight it's Rainer's taken over Parenthood. He's the one doing the supervising today. to try and help make sure I don't make a complete scaff of things. I think so far, touch wood, we've done all right. No horrendousness. We had a little bit of thickness on the electricity here, the lightning, but once it dried, it's not covered any detail, so I'm more than happy with that. Coverage seems good. We're going to go back with some zenithal later on. Spectre Dave is one of the sculptors, as I mentioned earlier when we were talking about Trevarians. This is one of Trevarian's sculpts. Spectre Dave is also another fantastic sculptor, recently sending a Meizo Kusanagi to Grendler. So Ghost of the Shell hype with legs, might I add. It's a rarity, it seems, on sculpting. I find that most sculptors don't like doing legs, so there you go. You're going so much thinner with your primer coat than I normally do. Well, I mean, this might be an extreme example, but this, like I said, the details, the surface details here are so much. The recesses aren't that deep, I guess what I'm trying to say. So I really went thin on purpose here. The half marine, the first one we started off with, maybe that's thin. We could go back. I'm not seeing much of the original grey. It's more obvious to see where we missed places on Tesla. Obviously, you can see we've missed loads around here, but like in his neck, etc. And there's still some points from the up here. You can see the original colours through, but we're doing a zenithal, so I'm not too worried. Thin wise, I don't think that I've missed anywhere. I like the fact there's a very thin amount of primer on there. It's enough that my brushwork can stick. I'm all right with that. Did you just say touch wood? I did. So it's maybe that's a British saying. Have you heard of touching wood? Is that a thing for you?
I think it's knocking on wood in the States.
Oh, okay, same concept. Knock wood, touch wood, whatever. I hit my head because it's full of wood and I'm a retard. So
I don't know which one's more.
Yeah, which one's
dirty
worse?
As an innuendo.
Well,
yeah.
we are on innuendo bingo tonight. We've continued, like I said, when your wife was on the stream, it was very much fibre arc, double entendre, much innuendo, and today's not been much better.
Yeah, something about pulling the fingering weight out of the orifice. It's terrible. She goes on about that even in real life.
Indeed. Ruckus is in as well. Another streamer, man. All the streamers in tonight. Loving this. Ruckus, how you doing, man? Welcome. Yeah, sorry, go on, Rain.
Is your chat link friendly? I wanted to send a link.
Yes, it is indeed. There's link everywhere. So yeah, you can link your channel. You can link anything you wish. As long as if it's dirty and rude, that'll go into my personal stash and you'll get a timeout. The disembodied voice is top right. That's a good point. Let's make that bigger. He's earned it. He is Rainer72. He is another miniature painter like myself here on Twitch. Only he is much more experienced with the airbrush.
So I just dropped a link in your chat, Flick, for the manual to the Iwata Eclipse line, which includes the brush that you're using right now. If anybody's wondering, it's the HPCS listed in that, so you can kind of take a look at the brush and what's inside of it.
There we go. Make it slightly bigger as well now. All right, cool.
It's a really important thing to have on hand no matter what kind of airbrush you have. The manuals are usually included with the airbrush, and if you can't find them in the airbrush packaging, most of them are online. Pretty easy to find.
Okay. So is there anything, let's go back to tutorial mode and conversation mode. So is there anything, obviously so far what we've done, let's just go through the processes of what we've done. We've done a plastic miniature here. I need to weight that one down. We've done a plastic miniature here from Games Workshop. We've done 2 resin. I think it's resin. I think Tesla's resin. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's plastic as well. It's certainly a different style of. No, it's resin. It's definitely resin. So we've got Tesla, and we've got the robot here from Trevarian and from Infamy. 2 different companies, 2 different resins. I didn't change the technique. I didn't change how thick it went on or anything like that. Is there anything else to consider when you're moving from plastic to resin to metal? When it comes with airbrushing, whether we're talking priming or whether we're talking with colours themselves, do you tend to add more or less of any of the additives, so foam probus thinners, or does that no affect what it's going on?
Once it's primed, it's not. Thanks, Orc Pride, for the font upgrade. Once it's primed, it doesn't matter quite as much because the whole idea is covering your model in a material that paint bonds to fairly easily. The biggest differences come in with how you prime it. So, like I said, the Stanoraz just goes on by itself as a primer, maybe a little bit of water. The important things to remember is that metal is going to take your primer the least out of the materials, so making sure you have a somewhat thick coat. So I might go a little bit thicker on a metal model just to make sure it's really locked in, and then giving it quite a bit of time to cure. Primer does have a cure time, just like paint does, but it's more important that your primer cures for longer than actual paint afterwards. The polyurethane kind of, this is not correct, but it kind of semi-crystallizes and sets in as it cures. So it's stronger. I think the Stynol Res bottle recommends like 6 hours, or if it's not the bottle, it's listed
Maybe.
somewhere.
Let's have a look.
But definitely giving it a full 6 hours before I start painting is something I do with metal. Resin and plastic, not so much. It really depends on how smooth the surface is. So if you have some exceptionally smooth surfaces, making sure that the primer is well bonded before you start painting is a good idea.
Okay.
So some resin comes out really smooth from the casting process, and that's again why I bring up making sure that your resin is nice and clean, because release agent will just completely ruin a paint job. You may be hours and hours in, and it starts flaking on you.
That's true from not ignoring the fact whatever medium you're using, whether it's an airbrush, whether it's a traditional brush, something like this is going to definitely having a release agent is going to just mess up your day in general. So because obviously even using the rattle cans, the same thing applies.
Right, and like I keep repeating, your layers of airbrush paint are so thin, they're a lot easier to damage just from physical things like that.
Okay. Can we have an update on audio as well? I'm assuming just then you may have heard the compressor come on because the music is quieter. Is that okay? Is it too much? Or did no one hear anything at all? Earlier on, Teague was saying, have you got a really high gate or a really quiet compressor? I think it was Teague that asked. Maybe it was someone else. The answer to that is actually a bit of both. The gate on my mic, this is a dynamic mic rather than the old cardioid. I've still got the AT2020, that's my guest mic. And I was going to use it for airbrushing, but obviously the very idea of this mic is that the distance from which I speak and the direction in which it faces is much more specific and targeted and will block out more background noise. So you guys might be hearing, I'm almost guarantee you're hearing the actual air from the brush quite significantly, but hopefully not enough that it's over my voice. But you shouldn't hear the compressor too badly. Hardly noticeable.
Let me
Awesome.
turn on your audio.
Say again?
'Cause I think you're right.
It's alright. So it'd be interesting to see how much of the audio of the actual brush air, because again, as a traditional brush user primarily and almost in a while to this point entirely, I even watching streams like yours, Sanjen's, the Long War guys that use the airbrushes, it was almost distracting to a point where if it was not dealt with, it interrupted my enjoyment of the stream. And that's just that's me with my production hat on and all that kind of jazz. So something I want to make sure that is not the case is that I become one of them, so to speak. So I don't mind the air. There's nothing you can do about the air. Air coming out the gun is what it is. I'll watch my own VOD back and we'll just have to deal with that fact because that's just the way it is. You're pumping air out. It's going to happen. So
Right.
I hit that too
so
hard.
the biggest thing that people are hearing right now is definitely the air from the airbrush coming out of the airbrush itself, and then also hitting the model. I'm not sure if I'm actually hearing your compressor actually kick in, but it's usually easier to block out the compressor sound. If you need to put some like carpet squares or something around it just to deaden sound, that usually helps. A hobby compressor is generally going to be about the 60 decibel range.
Yeah, I can't remember what one even
looking
said.
at using what do you remember which model of compressor that you got? It's okay if you don't. It's probably about that range.
Oh,
I can kind of hear
I
it
pity
kick
the
in just
fuel.
there.
Keep on rockin', dude.
I love it. I pity the fuel. I pity the fuel.
Oh my
Keep on rocking, dude. Thank you very much, Billy Dent. Loving the 18 reference. Beautiful. Thank you so much, man. 5 months, dude. Holy crap. Is that how long I've been? That's how long I've been partnered for, isn't it? No one's got 6 months yet, have they? Or have they? Where are we? What month are we in?
That long?
I don't know. February 11th was when I got partnered, or when it went live. So where are we?
Oh, wow.
Someone maths me. We can't have 6 months yet, can we? Oh my god, my 6-month partnership party is going to come up at some point. Holy damn. I got to plan something for that. I don't know what we're going to do. Thank you so much either way, man. Appreciate that, Beardy. Welcome back again. Time for a meeting. I wouldn't want to be late. Time flies. Sorry for interrupting. No, don't worry, man. I'm not going to say, yeah, how very dare you subscribe to the channel and interrupt me and Raina talking about airbrushes. That's just not good enough. I want a written apology. Not just to me.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, I want a written apology to everyone in chat. To whom it may concern, I, Beardy Gent, dreadfully sorry for interrupting the hobby, interrupting the flow as we learn to airbrush. It's fine, dude. Obviously, it's totally fine.
This is such a great thing to really get a feel for the airbrush on as well. As priming is usually pretty low risk.
Yeah,
and just
I mean,
getting an idea of how the paint works, how the trigger feels. That's the biggest thing.
yeah,
a
that's
lot of people kind of start and they go whole hog, and you know they're blasting it with paint and things like that, and then they realize, oh, if I just let up off of it a little bit, I get better flow or I get a better texture.
It's also
so just
teaching me
practicing around with primer.
it's angling as well, angle of attack, which is a thing they tell you about when you're painting a car, depending on the panel and the angle being the same as the panel, all that kind of jazz. This is I'm finding it's very similar, not exactly true, but very similar with the Mini, especially a miniature like this guy. So this is an Infinity miniature that you can see there's a lot of, well, you can't see anything because the focus is horrendous. Sorry, 1 second. Again, it's very hard to do focus when you're looking at black miniature on a black background, so bear with me, but you can see here this guy, this is Achilles from Infinity. There's a lot of armor pieces and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, to answer new CS, do you need any special ventilation in place for airbrushing? Sanjin's covering part of that. It's not necessary. It's not a bad thing to have on hand. Flick currently, I believe you have your windows open, you said, and then some fans going.
Yeah, I mean, again, hopefully you can see from the light sources. You might be able to see from the other, where are we? Does it show me? Not really, but...
Right,
so... Carry on, sorry.
The important thing is that the paint and the mediums that Flick is using right now are non-toxic, so they will not cause, you know, any sort of horrible disease or anything like that. But you know, there's particulate in the air, and that's not necessarily something you want to breathe in a lot of. So definitely for a long airbrushing sessions, you'll probably want either at least a simple mask to keep yourself from breathing it in, or a backstop of some sort.
I've got one.
To keep the...
Go on.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I've got a mask here already, but I've got like the doctor mask kind of things, but they're up because we were using it, in fact, to change the cat litter when, obviously with the wife being pregnant, there's ammonia and stuff in cat litter and you can't have that inhaled, so Alexandra had some of them, but I don't use them currently. But as you can see, the reason I've switched to this view is you can see over my shoulder that way, the door's open, so as wide as can be. There's also a window opposite which you can't see, which is open, so...
right.
I've made sure ventilation is best I can. If I was to going to do this with color and spend, you know, a 4-hour, 5-hour stream doing this with paint as well, then I would probably invest. Same as, I mean, there are other streamers that do have them, but you'll also notice people like Slow Fuse and Kenny, who do primarily airbrush or seem to do a lot of airbrushing, don't have masks either, don't use masks, because they're probably in very well ventilated areas. But if you're in a small enclosed space, a basement, a bedroom, a hobby room, I would definitely make sure that either ventilation is key or some decent mask. I know that Demonicon, for example, he hasn't got very good ventilation, so he's got a big old Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat mask going on.
The biggest thing with airbrushing, too, to keep in mind is it's not fumes, it's particulate in the air. So you don't want to necessarily breathe in a lot of that, and it will accumulate dust in whatever area that you're in. Having a backdrop for the paint itself to hit that's been oversprayed from your model will eliminate most of that. In fact, you can cut up a cardboard box and make a spray booth for pennies.
You mean do that?
Yep.
I can't show you much more than that, but that's basically what I've done. That's exactly what I've done. I'm hiding the ghetto setup. Looks all professional.
So that kind of keeps it kind of centered in, so when it starts settling out of the air, it's going to be in the immediate area. Having a nice spray booth with a vacuum, reverse pressure, whatever it's called, it's really nice.
See,
but it is loud. It's not very good for streaming, unfortunately.
Exactly. That's it. You hit the nail on the head. So there was 2 reasons I didn't do that. So I looked at these purchasable spray booths that have extraction. By the nature of having extraction equals light noise source because it's a fan of some kind. Also, I don't have the ability here, not without a lot of DIYing, which I'm A, not willing to do, B, not ability to do really, You know, drilling a hole in the wall for the extractor fan or putting it out of a window. It just, for what it is, at the moment where I'm just doing priming, I'll be okay. If I end up doing more than I expected, then yeah, I might look into it. David King, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Hope you enjoy yourself.
AV6 Scott brings up a good point. If you're ever doing a different medium other than acrylics like this, lacquers and enamels definitely require respiration and some sort of filtration because
well, that's a good point.
Are toxic.
There we go. That's a lovely little segue. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Raina. So let's talk about that then. So I purchased on request and after talking to you guys, you cumulatively Twitch chat, a way to protect the the Jareth Mini that I painted for the board game. Now, the Jareth miniature from the David Bowie stream is the first miniature I've done that I know is from a board game that's then going to get played, going to get handled. That miniature's going to get, touched, fondled, lightly enjoyed. So I wanted to protect it. Now, I didn't have anything to protect it with. I do own the Citadel, what do they call it, Purity Seal rattle can, but I've heard the horror stories and I've never even used it once. I bought it for my wedding miniatures and never did I risk it. So I went out and bought the Vallejo, and let me give you a second. I will show. Hello. I will show you in 2 seconds. Let me just get my mojo back as I blasted his knee by accident, like a scrub. It's much better. So I'm actually angling this miniature down now to make sure I get all the very, very, very bottom parts of it. Much happier with that now. Cool. Because obviously, again, we're going to come in with a zenithal on that, guys. That's not a problem. The next one we're going to do, or one of the ones we're going to do next, Tireless Rubio, we are not doing a zenithal because I'm going to do non-metallic metal on it, so I want to hit that properly. So, right, so yeah, this is what I bought. Now, this is a clear bottle of, as you can see from the light source here, let me just turn all the lighting off. You can see it's white, but it is honestly a clear bottle, which threw me initially. So this is called the Vallejo Matte Acrylic Varnish. It's permanent quick drying. Apparently you can use this both on the brush and through an airbrush. So I need to investigate. Ah, Kurt Jan, a lot of follows tonight. Thank you guys, really appreciate that, Kurt. Welcome. So I need to investigate how much of a mix you want to do this with any kind of thinner or flow improver or what have you, but this is the stuff I bought for that very reason, and this is the kind of thing, like Rain is saying, you will need a mask for. At least that's my understanding. I could be wrong, but
somewhat, yeah. It's not toxic. Kind of like what Scott and Sanjin here are talking about. It is water based. The problem with
cool.
doing lacquers and clear coats and stuff through an airbrush is the particulate's gross. It's just nasty. It sticks to everything. So you definitely want to make sure that you're well ventilated. So it's not just in your. You don't want it in your lungs.
You just don't want it in and around.
Yeah, I personally don't airbrush my clear coats just because I don't like having to clean my airbrush after doing it, but it is perfectly fine to do. And I think, since it's been so long since I've done it, just a little bit of thinner added to it's helpful for the drying.
Thinner, oh okay, cool. Trigger controller's key says Alt Pride, agreed. Menthu, how you doing, man? Sorry I missed you earlier, saying hello, just going through and catching up with chat now. I missed a few streams. Did you get everything assembled? I did not get everything assembled, no, but we do have, as you see, slowly but surely, we are working through a large majority of it. We've got, of our Death Guard, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7 Plague Marines done, but we've also got the Lord of Contagion done. We've got all of the Poxwalkers done from the first brew. So I've got 10 Poxwalkers, 3 Plague Marines, and I've got the Blightbringer, as he called, the chap with the bell, that technically need putting together still. So, but we've got so many other projects. I thought we'd just blast through these lot tonight, and if I get a chance, I might put some others together as well. But more than enough hobbying. We can crack on and hopefully have enough painting for the rest of the year, and all that jazz. So yeah, but I haven't done the primers at all yet, but they're on the to-do list as well. Whipping room is open. Spoke about that. The reason the first reason I bought mine was weather here is not 100% conducive to priming. Exactly what price. Same as me. Someone should, since I was late on the first month. Oh, for the 6 months. Okay, so maybe, I'm sure we can't 6 months. Did we work that out? I can't remember if we actually mathed that out correctly. February 11th is when I actually went live, so we would need to be, what, February, March, April, May, June, July. So yeah, no one can have 6 months yet. February into March will give you 1 month. April, May, June, July. Yes, I use my fingers for that, just to be clear. So yeah, so we're into July, which means 5 months, and no one can have 6 months yet. That'll be interesting. I really need to redo my sub badges as well. I'm really not happy with them currently. And yes, it is Sunshines. It is hot as balls here, as Beef Tane said earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but yeah, god damn it, it's hot. Okay, I think we're caught up, I think. Vallejo Varnish is water-based, non-toxic. Okay, cool. Did they do a satin one as 2? I don't know, actually. I wanted a matte finish because I didn't want it to particularly show. Before we send it off to Sailor. It's Sailor Jeff's mini and box set. I love the smell of Vallejo Varnish. Okay, that sounds slightly druggy. Where's my drink? There it is. Gosh is in. How you doing, Gosh Dongles? Does that mean that Mr. Dongles was here unattended? It's very rare do we see a Giuliano R and no Mrs. Dongles. You should have enough for the year with just one mini, says Alt Pride. Wow. Wow. This is the man who's saving for a... I know, he's saving for a commission and he's waiting. Catman is still here. Kingdom Death Catman from the 100 sub Catman stream, still here because he's not being sent until the commission's done. Send them in one box, I figured. Apparently Alt Pride doesn't want them. Hey, Laser Pingu's here. Get Swifty with the Airbrush. Ah, I know what Get Swifty means now. I watched Rick and Morty. Raina, I watched Rick and Morty. Binge-watched season 1 into season 2 of Rick and Morty. The internet shall be proud of me. I've caught up with some of it.
Never seen an adult so happy to watch a cartoon before. Congratulations.
I got so much abuse on Twitch chat. I mentioned it once in Next Level Paintings. I don't even understand half of these alerts because I have not seen it. I got abused. I mentioned it again on my stream, and Hailstorm Gaming decided it was some kind of horrendous insult against humanity that I hadn't seen such a thing. So I had to go and put down everything I was doing and go and watch it right now. These are the kind of things I got. So like, I finally thought, you know what, I'll just find it. So I went and found it. And I watched it, and I tell you what, binge watching season 1 and season 2, Morty's voice was the most annoying thing potentially ever. But they were funny. I'll give them that. It's like talking like this all the time. Oh, I don't know, Rick. Oh my god. Wobble up dub dub. Yep. See, I know what wobble up. I know what that means now. It's a random catchphrase he says. Like, what the hell?
I love this show.
I forgot what it says. Kiddo, thank you for the follow. In one of the episodes that I watched, must be like start of season 2 or something. He goes, it's one of my catchphrases, and it goes to like a million catchphrases that aren't actually his catchphrase. And he explains what wobble actually means in like Birdman's language or something, I think it is. I think Bird Person, whatever his name is. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I'm still getting there. Lots to learn. I know what the...
I've got to sit down and
Have you
watch
seen it yourself?
myself.
You've not watched it yourself? I found myself
I watched it
actually
a while back.
Oh, did you? Okay. I found myself going through and recognizing the voices. So there's like This Week Tonight with John Oliver. So I recognized John Oliver was one of the characters in one of the episodes. He played a character inside some kind of what was it? It was an amusement park inside the body. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, whatever. And I recognised the guys from the Australian comedy music band. So that Moon Man song that freaking Next Level plays for his alerts, and now know what it is, and I recognise the voice. I was like, it's the Australian guy from the thing that does the songs. And my wife was like, wait, what? Like, god damn it. How do I explain it?
You might be spoiling. Well,
nah. And yes, Anatomy Park. There you go. Spoilers, whatever. So how to get Flick to do stuff you wanted to give him shit for it. Learn Swedish, Flick. I'd love to learn Swedish. I really would. Like I said, I did try being in when I was in an actual CS team with 3 Swedes. It was worth learning for multiple reasons, because you're going to figure out what they're saying about you, but also what it, for quicker. Maybe a call would be quicker in Swedish than in English to name a place, a location on the map to be the same as it is in, rather than the Swedes always having to learn the English. But now, I only speak to a few Swedes, and those Swedes tend to know a lot of English. So let's go back to talking about the hobby, so to speak. So we're going through some nice tutorials here. So again, at the moment, which is not much, it's just priming. It's really hard to kind of say, give topic a conversation, but what would you say, like, how do I word it? What would you say? You know how you said earlier on when we were discussing this, you said that 70% of your miniature time on a miniature would be done with traditional brush, right? Mm-hmm. Does that mean that you, as a painter, as an artist, have got better with the brush, so that when you are doing priming, base coating, highlighting, whatever it is you're doing for that miniature, that you're quicker with the brush, or would you say that the airbrushes is just quicker in general? Like, what I mean is, did you do 70% of the time on the miniature and 70% of the work with the airbrush, or did you do 70% of the time with the traditional brush, but actually 80% of the work was done with the airbrush, and the traditional brush just takes longer for that last 20%, whatever it is? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely say I spend more of the surface area. I do more of the surface area in general with an airbrush, because obviously you can get a lot of surface area covered in a smaller amount of time. So that's a lot of where your time saving comes from. And the other aspect of an airbrush that's really nice is it's basically cheat mode for layering. That's kind of how I got started on it, because I just was... It was something that was interesting, and I'm like, oh wow, you can really get some nice transitions out of an airbrush. So I started using it a lot. In that aspect, I think I wish I'd learned some more traditional brush technique before I got into it. But being self-taught and all, I didn't have anybody to say, hey, slow down, learn more. With your traditional brush. So I've almost been playing catch up, learning how to do that. But I spend a lot of time going back and hitting things like, I paint a lot of Chaos Marines and things like that. So there's trim that I go in and I do that by hand, and then I have to work up the trim and all that sort of stuff. So that definitely takes a lot of time, because it's usually just more details. I can't be as loose as I can with an airbrush.
Okay.
So as far as like the time spent, it's also a factor of I'm just comfortable enough with what I'm doing, and I usually go in before I start airbrushing with at least a plan of, okay, I'm going to work up through these 3 or 4 colors on this part, and then do these colors on this part, and then I can just execute that plan.
So again, this is what planning is in general as well, because like we went to what we were talking about earlier about having a plan makes a massive difference as well when doing the OSL stuff. I guess that does pertain true to most things. With miniature painting in general, a lot of the reason I take so long, especially when I'm doing stuff that isn't copying the box art, because Grandler will kick my ass. If I'm not copying the box art, I need to have a plan. So I'll come on stream saying, right, we're going to paint this guy. So Gromindel was a classic example of that. Gromindel took so fecking ages for me because I didn't have a plan. I didn't know, other than doing Gromindel a Twitch mini, all the presence and the base and all that kind of jazz, I was like, I have no idea. We're just going to do a thing. And I think that's why I find myself, I get worried, I get apprehensive, and I take ages to make a decision on where, because I'm worried that the colours weren't right. My colour theory is not up to scratch. Whereas I can go to a reference photo and go, right, this artist did it this way and this clearly works. This artist did it another way, and then combine an idea or two and take my own, take bits and parts from that and use that as inspiration for my own way. Makes a massive, massive difference. So I guess just painting in general will speed up regardless of whether it's airbrush or traditional brush, if you have some sort of plan. So
do you keep a journal at all?
I don't keep a journal. A piece of advice I got from GateMace, I've got an app now on my Android phone called Paint Rack or something. I can't remember. There's one on the iPhone called Paint Rack.
Fantastic app.
And I've got one now. Let me just find out what it's called now. It's called, Paint Rack. There you go. Paint Rack. Ooh, I got something from Barclaycard at the same time.
So with this, when you start airbrushing, if you find color combinations that you like, definitely make sure to record them. Because a lot of times when I'm going through a model, it's colors that I've previously used. So I know that I'm going to get basically about this kind of effect out of the color combination. And if I need to adjust it, I can. But if I don't have to think about, okay, I want to get this kind of fade, I need these 4 colors, I don't have to plan those out every time. Now, if I am trying something new, what a lot of times what I'll do is I'll try it out to the side, just a piece of cardboard or a scratch piece of plastic, like even packaging or something like that, and just work it up and make sure the colors themselves work before I apply it to a model.
Okay. Do you do?
But keeping a book of those is not a bad idea, just at least until you memorize a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, Jan said this as well. He's got some written down. I mean, I could let you into the secret lives of Flickstone, and I'll show you the other thing I've got as well. So when I'm asking like Jan or Grandler or others about workups, I've asked before, like, I've got my professional level of looking after things. There's my bone workup. Just remember how I did it. Ushabdi literally wrote little bit of storm vermin, Lil. Ushabdi, little bit of storm vermin, pallid witch flesh. Then Null and Agrax Mishwats, and then back the water with the base color originally, and then more pallid on top. You add more pallid. That's my bone workup, so to speak. So this is my logging. This is my book stuck to various parts of my hobbying desk. I've got one for, what have I got here, for bronze metal. So the metal work that we did on Fellhand, who's still here because thingy's dropped off the grid. Wi-Fi's dropped off the grid. This, like, bronzy gold, so to speak. You know, that kind of burnt style gold there. I've got a workup for that on a sticky note next to me. The same with the fur, for example, as well. So I've got a few, but nothing specifically. Airbrush casual, says Ojaku. Hello mate, how you doing?
Totally get a notebook for that. The nice thing about having a nice permanent book for having it is you can literally just paint on the pages. So if you can't remember exactly what a paint looks like, or maybe you mix something up, you can literally just paint a note for yourself.
Paint a note, did you just say?
Yeah, so just having a swatch of whatever color you've got in your notes.
Oh, I see, like a blotch.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Low-lifing brings up a good point. Low-lifing. Sorry, there's no G in that. Low-lifing brings up a good point. You get smoother transitions when you mix your colors as well. That's an awesome point, because a lot of times when I'm switching between different colors, I'll keep a little bit of the old color in there because it does help transition between one to the next. It just softens the harshness between two different paints.
Okay. Apologies, I was reading a thing at the same time. So he's talking about transitions about as well. So this is when we were talking about earlier about swapping. So when I did this last time with Grandler here, we did the black across multiple miniatures, and then I went straight into white. Now I ran the black, but I've still got. You can see how it's drying in the cup here. So I'll clean the cup in a minute whilst I'm still using it. It's not a problem. But we ran the black all the way through, so there's basically nothing left in the cup, and then put the white straight in and ran it through as a grey. I guess that creates a natural transition mix as it goes through as well. So you could actually do, I guess in theory, I don't know how clean the actual technique would end up being, but I guess you could do like a transition, not from black to white, I think quite harsh, but like a red to an orange, with just by adding the red initially, then add some orange into, put that through, then add more orange, and naturally it will go from red to orange as you use that material up.
Right, and you'll want to just use a little bit at a time, just to kind of slowly mix it in, slowly use it, and then eventually it will become orange as you add more to it. You can definitely do that. So you're basically putting a step between your two paints, or multiple steps between your two paints.
Okay. So I've moved on now to the base for Tylus Rubio. I have dry fitted this into one unit so that I can get the zenithal correct, but then I'm going to remove our, what is he again, you called him? He's not a world eater, is he? What's our fallen chap here on the base that looks somewhat tired? Do you remember? I can't remember. I'll have to look.
Oh, was that a word bearer?
It might be a word bearer. 2.1 bar, so 30 something or other, I think. Again, that was set by Grendler when he was here, and I've just not touched it. I'm just literally going. The bottle for the primer suggests that you go between 1.5 and 2 bar, so I'm right on the high end cusp of that. But no, it's there. It's fine.
And something I like to point out to people who ask me about what pressures things are set at. Think of the pressure on your compressor as kind of a maximum. If you're using a dual action trigger like Flick is using, you can control the PSI that's actually coming through the brush at the trigger.
So if you listen, I don't even hear it, but...
Right. So Flick can't go above that pressure, but he can definitely go lower than that pressure as he paint.
Yeah. It might take you longer making your own colours, Flick, but you improve the colours better. Well, maybe. The Queen is sure getting a lot of screen time on your stream. The Queen? Oh, because all the pennies. Yeah, maybe. I keep my recipes in a little A5 book because I'm forgetful but nerdy. That's cool. I, for one, don't forget my paint screen. How can you forget yours? It's just chaos. It's just red everywhere. Red and black. That's it. No, what am I about? What am I about? It's Ojaku. It's Emperor's Children. It's just purple. Ojaku's like Emperor's Children. It's just like purple and gold. I guess actually I should take... Yeah.
I've got to bolt, but thank you for having me on your stream.
No
We're out of
worries,
time.
man. Thank you for answering the questions. I'm sure chat appreciated it. Thank you for your time, man. Always appreciated. Like I said, guys,
No problem.
top right, go give this man a follow. You want to hear more from him, watch him do his thing, check out his channel, give him a follow for sure, guys.
I'll be lurking and working, and I'll see everybody who wants to stop by on one of my late night streams.
Cool. When
Thanks,
is your
guys.
next stream?
I will be streaming next on Friday at 9 p.m. Central Time.
There you go.
My normal hours are Friday 9 to 1 a.m., Saturday 9 to 1 a.m., and Sunday's optional 3 to 7, and then again on Monday 9 to 1.
9 to 1, man.
So I do the late night shift for you guys in North America.
No worries, man. Right, well, thank you for the luck. I appreciate that, man. And also go enjoy your luck and work.
Yep.
Ciao for now. So yeah, that was Rainer. Thank you for him, obviously, to joining us. Hopefully you guys... I certainly had some help. I certainly got some good information from that. Hopefully you guys did as well. It's not the only airbrusher here that's available to help you guys as well, and me. There are others. Like I said, Sanjin's in chat. There's a few others, obviously, clearly, as we've heard, are in chat giving the advice. Oh, God. Scott, I have some Tester's dull coat, but it's like 75% humidity. Ooh, that's gonna shortly. That's gonna turn into the older. Oh, what do you call it? Cloudy nightmare. I'll just put some freaking material on that. I should have thought about that. Never mind. See, already, instantly, as I do this now, I feel far more exposed and worried. It's just naturally going to happen for me. I haven't got a Rainer to protect me now. What happens now? The humidity should lower, or hopefully soon. There you go. Thank you, Laser. Appreciate that, man. And welcome back, dude. We've missed you. Oh, Drenade's in the house. How you doing, man? Welcome on in. We will hold your hand. Yeah, please do. I'm scared. Hold me. How you doing, Drene? Welcome. I hope you've had a good day. You join me as I am. Just been left by Rainer72 to my own devices to approach this whole priming with an airbrush on my own, unattended. I'm not sure I'm old enough to be left alone unattended yet. I'm not quite sure which way's home. What is the time? We're at 7 o'clock. Right, guys, if you haven't already, 5 minutes... Oh my god. Old through one more. Welcome. I hope I got that right. Welcome to the stream, man. 5-minute warning. We will go do a work in progress gallery trip. If you've been working on something on your stream or at home, if you're not a streamer and just a hobby head like us, no, don't feel worried. If you're starting out, if you're a professional, all of the things we want to show off, if you've got a work in progress that is actually a work in progress, all of the above are a welcome. Sculptors, miniature painters, you name it, it is multi... And we've got fiber artists last time as well, so get involved. Over !Twitch server, !server. Get involved, guys, and we will go and have a look at what you've been working on. I, for one, have not had a chance, as per usual, to touch the hobby before tonight. So Monday was the last time I did anything, where we finished off doing some more assembly work. Right, I'm going to be quite aggressive now with this. It's the bottom of it. I don't really care so much. There we go. Whoa. So I am planning on doing a zenithal lighting on this bit for sure. However, we are not going to do that on the miniature itself. I will be doing a non-metallic metal on Tylos, or trying. Again, second time I've ever done non-metallic metal. The first time was on a dwarf. We did on Bugman. We did 3 different styles of non-metallic metal on Bugman. In fact, he was a full-on sketchpad mini in the end, before winging away to his new owner. Quick, someone get a van, take Flixter home in. Ah, no, don't. We don't need a van, we need a bus. Yes, the party bus, indeed. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, so on Tylos, we are actually going to do a non-metallic metal attempt, which means I'm not going to bother doing a zenithal lighting. We're just going to do a plain black. Adosica, thank you. Welcome to the stream. A lot of follows tonight, guys. I'm feeling the love. Thank you so, so much for all of you new people finding the stream. Hopefully you're finding this useful. If not, if you missed the start, go back, check the VOD, and also check the VOD for the start of the stream. Hopefully it doesn't get muted, but we did have song requests on, so there's a high chance that some of it will get muted. Didn't think about it. Didn't really plan it to be a full-on tutorial, but it ended up being that way thanks to Rainer72 coming involved and just bouncing some questions and discussing what I already knew and him reinforcing and obviously adding to that as well. We are continuing to go through and just, prime all the things, all of the black right now. But yeah, we'll zenithal light. We'll come back across the white on most of these, but just not on the man himself, Tylos Rubio. So we are talking about, for those who don't know what we're on about, excuse me, we're on about this chap here. Let's just bring down the lighting for you guys. Production value. There you go. So this is Tylos Rubio, the Knight Errant. This is from the character series of Forge World, as you can see. And yeah, whoa, wrong one. So we are planning on giving him a shot at non-metallic metal. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the actual... Well, the golds are fairly obvious. We're going to do this in our golds and bronzes and all that kind of jazz, but I don't know what we're going to do about the actual armor itself, whether we go with a silver or a steel, or we're going to go with sheath and just go black and white, and I don't know. We'll see. I want to add some... It looks like it's got some blues and purples and fun stuff in there, so I'm going to try to be a wee bit more adventurous with him. I don't know, it actually shows without me messing with the focus. There you go. So you can see in there, guys, that there is clearly like purples and blues around his face and the skin. We've already done some of that before. I've discussed why you would use purples and blues, and even in some respect greens as well. So that's something that Shoshi has been an advocate of, and in fact Gren has picked up and had a go at himself as well. So we're doing the same thing on the skin, but for the actual metals here, there's very much purples and blues involved. So we'll have some fun with that. We're not going to replicate the box art, but we're going to do a similar style. That's what I'm trying to get at. Whereas as you can see down here on the base, it's just, you know, weathering and rockeries, and this guy's here more of a traditional, not metals. So I will zenithal both these guys, and we'll just attack it with our glazing and various techniques that we use to get to what I consider my best abilities. Right, anyway, we'll crack on. Actually, or should we? Yeah, let me empty the cup, so to speak. There's a little bit of material left in the cup of the airbrush, so we'll do that on this chap here. Then we'll go to the whip gallery. So song requests are still on, although currently it is on... Ooh, look at that. Release agent. Is that release agent? Yeah, that looks like release agent. Interesting. Let's just be careful here. Song requests are on. We're on quite a long mix at the moment, just whilst Raina was talking. But yeah, do add your song requests when we come out of the whip gallery for the last hour or so. We might go a little bit later tonight. Maybe we'll go beyond 8 o'clock, see how we're doing. Work our way through all the things. Running out, so I'll be sure now. Why? Who's Dodo leaning? Raymond. Cheeky fecker. Taking some risks, aren't you, son? As I'm playing with my new toys. You can't do that. I've got to focus. It's going to be interesting to see if I get any splatter or anything like that as I come to the end of the material in the cut. I'm having to get slightly closer as well. Celebrate! Come on! This is a precision instrument. I want to dance now. You can't get mad at Celebrate. Celebrate's the best alert on Twitch in Twitch Creative. I'm sorry, it just is. No one can get mad at Twitch Celebrate. Not interrupters. Tune. Whoa, Anastasia. How you doing? Hello, Flick. We're getting some blow action. Ah, yeah. And Renee notices indeed the new emote. So you'll notice that the $4.99 guys have now got the Flixer Cyan that used to be at $24.99. The $24.99 guys have now got at least the first wave of Flixter Bowie. I was getting screen captures. I was getting the fun images from the Bowie stream and trying to figure out a nice emote that you could use. So I went with you know, it's David Bowie going, yeah, could be. Seems good. It's alright. Yeah. It'll do for now, until we find a better one or one that we want even more. We've also introduced a new hype / shoop / whatever you want to use it as. Can be support of gay pride with the rainbow. It can be anything you want it to be. There we go. We're out of material, boys and girls. I think that's pretty good, actually. I think we've covered all the things. Right, so here's a good example. I don't want this to dry up, so I'm going to put some water through it, and I'm going to blast into the cleaner. I can't continue subscription for now. Oh. Final few days. That's alright, not a problem. What do you want to do, Anastasia? If you can't do that, and there's no problem, I appreciate and I understand why live first. Try and save that up for September. September's when I'll be asking you guys to resub again, if you can. Save up the pennies for that month, because that month's going to be my birthday month. End of September, September 30th is my birthday. I've decided that is when we're going to do our next emote drive, in September. We are going to go all out. We're going to get as much as we can, and I'm going to have a stupid amount of stuff for you guys. Incentives, giveaways, and various levels of sellout that even the most sellout of streamers would be proud of. Right, give me a second. Rainbow emote combines well with squid tentacles. Yes, yes it does. Look at that. Oh, beautiful, General. Good point. I don't even know who that is, Ojaku, let alone say it. Right, hopefully that'll keep itself for now. Right, guys, it's whip time. If there is anything in the whip gallery, we shall go and do that now. I've waited several years for Andrew to come back. Andrew to come back. I don't know who the company is. If I should know this guy, I apologise. I don't know. I'm still fairly new to the hobby, so if this is something that I should know and I don't, I'm a bad person. Right, whip gallery time. Where are we? Moses, you legend. I love Five Finger. So good. One of the only bands I really like that I haven't actually seen live, by the way. Just a cool Airbrush dude I learned on YouTube. Okay. I learned from. I see. All right, cool. That's what we got. Ooh, I see a potential 9 new notifications. I'm hoping these are all whip stuff. That's awesome. Let's have a look. Right, where are we? There we are. Alright guys, so the whip gallery is fast becoming a staple part of our Twitch diet here in Twitch Creative now. Myself, obviously Gate Mace, Genuine Vision, friend of mine, a few of the newer streamers that are coming in are also doing it as well. Malleus does it. Obviously the Long War guy, so the whip gallery over for Slow Fuse Gaming and for Kenny and for Spiky Bits, they all share it. So, never be afraid. When I first joined Twitch, I was always very worried about putting some of my early works up. Even though the stuff I was at the time when I was doing for my wedding mixes, I just, you see all these amazing pros on Twitch and you're like, So, never be afraid, man. Never be afraid whatsoever. Right, so let's go and have a look. So I'll scroll back up. We've got Darth Tollins. I see you've added something yesterday. Elavic's added yesterday. We saw Darth Tollins, that one there. So I say it's an up. Oh, sweet. We actually get to see a difference. Cool. All right, so let's do that. So let's actually start with Darth Tollins. I don't know if he's in chat. Darth, you in chat? You didn't use the whip music gallery again. I haven't started it yet. Don't you worry. You've ruined the fun now. You've literally ruined it. I'm upset with you, General. I'm disappointed in you. I'm all the things. I've literally got it queued up right now. I was going to bring up the miniature, start it as we go over. Never mind. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go over to our whip gallery. Hopefully you can't hear my compressor, but we'll see. Right, there we go. Setup, prime, let's pause that in. So let's go in. So here we are. Let's do our switch over on, where are we? Painting. There we are. Main monitor display. Look at this glorious. We'll do a fade. We won't do one of the elaborate things. We'll just do a nice fade. And we'll bring it into the whip gallery. And we'll go through to our little segment called the whip gallery. There you go. So this is Darth Tollin, age 12. I'm only kidding, General, don't worry. So yeah, Darth Tollin sent us this last Monday, on Monday's stream. Sorry, let me just bring it down. There we go. It's not there. That looks about right to me. Krendler rage quits. You stop Five Finger for this. It's the whip gallery. Come on, bit of humour. So yeah, Darth Tollin did that, and then has introduced his work today. So this is the upgrade, so we can actually compare them. So this is him. He says, "I say it's done." So we've gone from that. I want some step dancing to this. I can't step dance on a chair. But yeah, looking awesome, Darth Tolan. Darth Tolan is not a streamer on Twitch. He's yet to have the confidence to do so, but he is putting his videos up on YouTube, so do check out Darth Tolan's YouTube channel. But yes, very, very cool. By far my most favourite model I've ever painted recently, says Elrovic, as we go over to look at his. Oh, look at that. I love the weathering. You've tied that into the base well. Something a lot of people miss out on, or people like overlook, is taking a base and then, you know, they paint the miniature to the best ability, they make a base the best ability, and then they just stick them together. And they never really really go together, and they really match. Cool. The weathering helps with that. I would potentially add a wee bit to his boots as well. You put it on the bottom of his cloak like it's a well-weathered cloak, but he shined his boots. So if he shined his boots, why hasn't he cleaned his cloak as well? So maybe have a little bit of dusting on his boots as well, potentially. A bit more than it's showing in this miniature. It might actually be the photo. Maybe you've got it on the sides and the heels, but it's a lovely cool. My brother has that dude. Does he, Ojoku? Yeah, it looks like a good model, man. Good fun model, that. But yeah, he's great. Sanjin's putting it like now. I don't care what you say. Alright, first impression, when I show you this next model, I want you to write what this model reminds you of. What character, what person, what human, what band member, what anything. What does that remind you of? Now I know it's a superhero. I know this because I watched him do it. I know this because I think it's DC, one of the Night models, I think. But it looks like, come on, it's Lobo, man. No, it's not Lobo. It's Ozzy Osbourne, says Moses. Close. I thought it was the dude from Kiss. It's Ozzy, see? When I first went there, alright, when I first went and saw Sanjin stream, he'd just done the black around the eyes. The rest was white and pre-lighted, what you want to call it. It was zenithal lighted. It had black. It like he was going to rob the joint. I was like, wow. He has a really long tongue and he's from Kiss. General, it's fine, dude. I'm only winding you up. It's all good, dude. It's all good, all good. Lobo Kenny. Yo, dog. Maybe it is next level painting. I never even thought about that. You're thinking of Gene Simmons? Yes, indeed. Gene Simmons is what I was thinking of, but one of the dudes from. Moving on, Reliance 3D modeled and painted up LED inside to make the chemical leak that glows. This is freaking cool. This is something that the Bug King, the real Bug King, would love. Check that out. 3D printed fuel barrel. Fueling the hobby. Toxically, apparently. Kenny sure got ripped. Yeah, he's hitting the, done a lot of squats, a lot of bench. That's cool. That's very cool, man. Should be proud of that. And again, 3D printed, so completely, you know, self-sustainable. No need to purchase, build more and more and more. Very cool. Sell them. Let's move on. Drene77. Drene77 is a streamer here on Twitch. If you like what you see, make sure you check him out. Drene, if you're in the chat, I'm sure you were earlier. If you're still here, make sure you give a /ME wave. Make sure that people give this guy a follow. Yeah, the dancing Necrons on sprues is what I'm liking here. Not all barrels are fuel barrels. Hey, they could be. All right, full of fuel. I mean, not hobby fuel. What else do you put in barrels? Milk, if you're Grendler, I suppose. But yeah, as I say, Drene is a streamer here, a friend of ours. There he is. There's the wave. Give him a follow, guys. Please do. He's also a very big supporter of this stream. He's been a $24.99 supporter, and I appreciate that greatly.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double time.
Yes. Another man fueling the hobby. Surreal Lemming, which potentially is the best sub of the day name-wise. Glorious. I love it. Thank you so much. That's a new subscriber, guys. Hype it up. I want to see loads of hype. There's so many of you subs in here. There's no excuse not to get involved. When someone subs and joins the team here, helps fuel the hobby, make sure you put it all in there. Milk barrels, indeed. Come on. All the hype. All the hype. Thank you so much, man. Welcome. Yeah, so, Renee, there you go. Give a follow. Anastasia. Awesome. So this is a work in progress from Anastasia Phantom. Very active member of the community. Good friend. Yanari Autark from the Jukari Scores. Now, I know Anastasia makes up her own Eldar and all that kind of jazz, so this will be interesting to see what she's done with this. I've got multiple angles, so I want to get them all loaded up and we'll go back through them all. Give us some action. There we go. So, can you give some background to the color scheme you're doing, Anastasia? I know you do your own stuff here. Oh, there's the hype. Awesome. Thank you. Nice fakey grind on that neck grind. Yeah, indeed. Milk is bad for you. Yeah, Anastasia, if you're here in chat, so I don't know if you're still here. Hopefully you are. Give us some background on what colors or what, as in, which one's your main one for your craft world, I guess? All that kind of jazz? Well, I'm loving the pink is popping for sure. The pink and white is awesome. I can see you got this as much more of a natural style. Although, okay, blue's not really natural, but it's birds. So you can do whatever feather colors you want. Hey, Grendler, how's the music? You enjoying it? But yeah, I like it. I love the fact that, yeah, Junari Autark from the Drukari Scourge. If I'm saying that right, I don't know. It's not my own stuff, really. This is the basic Yanari colour factions. Yanari are the dead elder things. The dead elder things. I know the Yanari stuff. That's cool. Drukari are dark elder. Cool. Okay, there you go. So Drukari sounded dark, but this, I don't know, the Scourge is a dark elder thing, isn't it? So yeah, cool. Okay, well, there's a lot of colour going on. The reason I asked that initially was because you've got pink and white and then dark blue, and then on the body you've got the reds and the gold. There's a lot of different colours going on, so I was trying to figure out which ones will become the main colours, which will be darkened down. You know, obviously this is a work in progress, so you've got, you know, washes and highlights and you've got shadows and that jazz to go, so. Love the bits box too. The wings are my own, I see, cool. Oh, you missed your own whip, did you, Reliance? We are still showing it. It's up here somewhere. Where is it? There we are. There you go, just for you, buddy. We said it's awesome. I said fair play to you. I love the fact you've done a barrel. Obviously, on this stream, a barrel is true to the mascot of this channel. Very, very cool. And I said you could potentially sell them if you 3D printed it yourself. It's a single piece. I don't plan on making an army. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, again, Anna, definitely make sure you give us all the updates throughout our next couple of streams and as you go through the project. Very sure. Welcome to the stream. Thank you. Appreciate that, Valestra. Why are they different tone wings, Anna? Well, that's what brought me to it. I print it myself. Awesome, Reliance. But then, Brilliant, you can definitely make some cash out there. They're cool. You also want to speak to the Real Bug King, who's another guy on Twitch who's starting to stream now, but he does a lot of scenery stuff, LEDs and stuff as well. You guys would hit it off. I'm sure you guys would get on like a house on fire. Really enjoy bouncing some ideas off each other. Right, so I'm going to run some more water through. Oh, that late entry, just as we were coming through, just as we were coming out, we've had someone sneak in a whip. Real Bug King, yes, the Real Bug King is there you go, as Teagues has said, the Real Bug King is a username here on Twitch. Go to the twitch.tv/the Real Bug King. Go drop him a follow. He's not online right now, he's been away, but when he comes online, then, oh, friends, more friends. Fencer, thank you so much. Fenzig, go on, show yourself. Thank you so much for the follow, for the host, my friend. Appreciate that. I hope your stream went well. Always a pleasure to receive a host from yourself. I'd love to see more streams. Yes, you definitely should. You definitely should. And let's say once he gets going, it'll be awesome because. Oops, sorry. What was I trying to do? Because yeah, he's doing some scenery, which is not covered very well on Twitch currently. Only Scenery's only really done by a few people. I think Mystic Scorpion for a while tried to do it as a primary thing, but he's gone back to painting as well a bit. So, you changed your name. I did wonder when it said Fen Paints. I was like, he's changed his name. I hope that's the same person. But yeah, thank you, Fen. And clever idea to change the name because no one could bloody spell the last one. Gore. Nightmare. Yeah, I did change it indeed. Right, so this is an awesome piece of stuff by Moses666. So Moses joins us here in chat. Welcome, friends, indeed. So yeah, some more Dark Eldar here. Looking cool, man. I like the colours. The teals are awesome. Is that freehand, or is that a transfer, or is that already on the actual... Are they freehand, dude? Yes, those colours, indeed, Nicky. They're awesome. They're awesome, aren't they? Love it. Yeah, the teal and red's a lovely idea. I've just noticed down here as well. Transfer badly. Hey, it's all right. I thought they were freehand. They're not clean enough to be transfers and all, so I thought you painted it on. So just go with it. Just go with it. Just say it's transfers. It's fine. It's freehand, not transfers. Right, guys. Anyway, more enjoyment than quality. That's entirely what it's about. Enjoy. Who gives a shit? To excuse my French, it's a family show here, as Genuine would say. As long as you enjoyed it, I don't care. At the end of the day, if you're happy with this, that's all that matters. And that's why I said don't be afraid to share what you've painted on. Even if you think it's the worst, most embarrassing model anywhere, you know, everyone's on a different, in a different stage of their journey. Everyone's a different path. Everyone's got a different way. Everyone's got a different style. No one, doesn't matter how good they are, can look at your monitor and say, you know, not see the good bits you've done. Every model painted, there's always something good. There's always something you can say has been good. And also there's a lot of things you can say you can improve as well. So who cares? It's all about fun. I get mocked for being the slowest painter on Twitch, but I bloody well enjoy it, so. Right. Let's focus on this. The second image I've got in the whip gallery actually is the it's the head at the bottom. I love the fact it's got its own image. I will have an update for the model later with my 11-year-old sister's painted one. Awesome, painting one along. It's her first model and she's super excited. Hell yes. New hobby heads. That's what I love. You enjoy it slowly. Yeah, indeed. You only have that label because I'm not streaming Flickster. Well, a few people to that, Teague. You're not the only one. Like, oh my god, I'm so slow as well. I've had someone whispered me and went, I'm not sure I want to stream because you get so much crap for being slow, yet I can't keep up with you. I was like, seriously, people just give you abuse no matter what. They'll find something. It's the internet. Whatever you do, there'll be something they'll pick up on. Right, anyway. I'm going to knock it on the head there. We want to get back and do a little bit more. We got, like, normally I end up finishing at like 8 o'clock, but we're going to try and go a little bit extended tonight. Not loads extended. I do have to spend some time with the family, of course, but I want to try and get Gulliman, oh my god, Tylus Rubio fully primed and prepped, and I want to go back and do some Zenithal as well, so. Otaku, you need to drop it in the channel, dude. There's no such thing as an imperfect mini. I'm going to click on it just this once, but we're trying. I generally can't keep up with chat, but as it's not going that quick tonight, we've got a nice, steady chat tonight. It's been good. I can go through. Oh, wait, no. It's finished. Perfect finish. Perfect time to end our whip. So there you go. Thank you, guys. As always, add all the next whip. If you didn't get through your... if we didn't get to your whip today, which I think we covered everyone that I can see in there, add it in. We'll go through it again on Monday. If we've got a stream before then, which we might do, slight teaser, I might be able to get a late night stream in. Go figure. Then we will, of course, go through and do such a thing. We'll go through the whips then. So Monday and Wednesdays, 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. guaranteed. There's some bonus streams I can get them in for the moment, whilst life is chaotic with 2 jobs and a daughter. Once I think life settles, I'll release the full schedule going forward for next month. On a more permanent basis. And the chances are there's going to be a late night stream for the Americans. And there might even be an early stream as well. So we might have 4 streams back again, but it'll be 1 early, 1 late, and 2 regular. It's basically how it's going to go. Right, cool. Let's get back to it then. That link, by the way, even that link of that horrendous picture, as far as you're concerned, still has good things about it. If someone put that in the whip gallery, you could still say they've got the details in the right area, they've got the red crest correct, the green is there, they've got levels, lines. Yes, the face is not the best. Yes, their paint is thick. It's still got a face, it's still got eyes. There's always something you can say. Blah, 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 blah. I got a box of dark Eldar. Using the head seemed like a good idea. Hell yeah, Moses, good idea. I'm going to look forward to destroying my bits box as well. When I'm doing my Grey Knights, I'm going to use some of the Death Guard spare bits. I'm going to use some of the Eldar spell bits, and vice versa. When I'm doing the Flesh Terrors, I'm going to use Death Guard or Eldar. And when I'm doing the Eldar, I'll use the others. Mess it about. I love the plumage. Yes, the hair on's awesome. How's Mrs. Flick doing? Well, in fact. Excuse me one more time. Under the tunes. Oh, it's like 12 hours of credits for Five Finger. Oh, Sanjin. The Sam Jam bus. Let's go. Where are we going today? Yesterday we went to Legoland. Where are we going today, Sanjin? Oi, oi, congrats on the daughter. Hey, Mr. Month, how you doing, man? Krispy Kreme. Yes. Oh, the factory. Tell me the factory. I get so fat. I love Krispy Kremes. Thank you, Mr. Month, man. I appreciate that. And yeah, very happy. Obviously, she is now 7 weeks, nearly going on 8. God, blimey. Nearly, when it gets to 8 weeks, I'll stop saying weeks. It'll be 2 months. She'll be 2 months old. My meme got denied, indeed. Hey, Sublime, how you doing? I painted a house. Can I post it? Yes, whip. Here's a whip. Here's a wall. Literally watching paint dry. Working so much, man. Yeah, me too, dude. Don't worry. I know the feeling. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you being here, man. Checking it out. Thank you for popping back in again, dude. But yes, she's amazing. It's been crazy. Obviously, it's been tired and hard at times, but it's fantastic. The smiles just melt you. Trust me. She's got a proper little giggle forming already now. The little gargles are turning into, like, multiple syllables of gargles, if that makes sense. So we've gone from this to and stuff like this. It's hilarious. Honestly, it's hilarious. So, right. Let's get back to it, boys and girls. We're good. We've not blocked anything up. I put some water through initially when we stopped for our little break. I then put some more water through, run that through, and then I put paint back in, and it seems to be okay. We need a youthful party with foam and MDMA. I'm not sure we can condone that on the channel, but if that beats your wish, then fair dues. Right, let me just move some things out of the background here, because whilst they're now starting to get, I don't know what you call it, overspray, as we're blowing over the other ones. Yeah, certainly our friend here is got a little bit on him. I'm just checking.
I love this show.
Polak123, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. A lot of love tonight, guys. I appreciate that. We are going through priming all the things and all the. We did a whole kind of tutorial introduction to airbrush use in general, to be fair. And then we've gone through now, and we've gone back to it. We're going to be priming up a few more things black, and then we're going to go through and zenith all the whole lot. Well, most of them anyway. Sublime, join the Twitch server, man. Exclamation mark Twitch server, exclamation mark whip, exclamation mark server. All three of those exclamation marks will get you to the same place, give or take. Oh man, the house is lovely though. Very, very cool. I love American houses. Something about the style. I'd love to move back out there. I miss it. I used to live in Arizona. I used to work in Long Island, New York as well. Huntington, to be exact. So I've got a few places in America I've been to. And we've actually got family out in Minnesota now. Well, not family as such, but acquaintances in Minnesota. So who knows, we might end up checking out Minnesota at some point as well. Any of you near that way? Which I only found out like 2 days ago, which is kind of interesting. I'm also going to Texas for a motorsport event at some point. So again, another trip to America. So if any of you are out there, to let me know. Texas Motor Speedway, if any of you know that. No, that's where we're going. So we are doing the opinions of Sandra, not so the opinions of Flickster. These statements are made neither condone by Flickster or their affiliates. Viewer discretion is advised. Loving that. I need to add that somewhere. Exclamation mark Sanjin. I'll make that a thing on my shirt. There you go. I'll own that. So apologies if I'm off camera, all that kind of jazz. I'm just trying to get the angles for one using the brush here. Where in Texas? Yeah, Texas Motor Speedway is where I'm heading. There is a Formula D event called Formula Drift, for those of you that don't know the acronym. So Nikki, if you go and look on the website, look up formuladrift.com, I think it is. You'll see the dates. And the current plan is to either get to Texas Motor Speedway or to Irwindale, because the current championship points leader is an Irish fella that me and my friends both know from when I used to drift. So we want to go out there and see, and hopefully he can be the first European to claim the champion. Well, not first European, because Asbury did, but just first Irish dude anyway. First one from the UK, let's go with that. There you go. To win a Formula Drift. So we're going to fly out to the States, support that. You forgot the didn't you forget the exclamation mark, Gilly? That means that anytime anyone says Sanjin. Oh yeah, he didn't. There you go. Thank you for teaching my mod how to mod. I thought the way you did it then without the exclamation mark would mean that anyone said his name would then get that. That would be equally funny, I have to admit. Not going to lie, I'd have laughed at that as well. Every time anyone said his name, they would get a warning discretion. Maybe that's even funnier. Let us know for your Texas trip. I will do, Nikki. Absolutely. You were actually the first one I thought of when that was a thing, but the people I'm also flying with aren't actually hobby heads. So they're aware of hobby and me doing it, but they're not hobby heads themselves. So we'll have to see what that goes, whether they'll be interested. Or maybe just get you guys to come up for a day or something, and we'll just meet up. Maybe a day out doing motorsport things. If you give a crap about cars at all, I don't know, but whatever. It's just an excuse to go out. Offer some food later, so we'll see you later, Honoured First. Thank you for hanging out, man. I appreciate that. It's probably needed, to be fair. Yeah, maybe. A day of motorsport stuff sounds fun. AB6 is a car guy. Oh, does he? I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool. Well, then there you go. Definitely. Texas Motor Speedway. Formula Drift. That's the one we'll try and get to. Whoa, that was a little overspray. What is this? Shalala. I didn't even recognize it. Let me know if the music's too quiet, by the way. I turned it down whilst Raina was here talking and giving you guys, dropping some knowledge bombs. So if it's too quiet, do tell me. Wait, what? I'm like mayo, an acquired taste texture. Mayo? Why would you acquire? Turn up a bit. There we go. I disagree, Shannon. I like mayo. Yeah, I hear that a lot. You're a part of the problem. Inside stream joke. Oh, okay, cool. Excuse I heard Mayo and had to click over. Giuliano is not watching my stream, guys. He's been rumbled. He's got the stream on in the... I'm in the background. Someone is more important than me on Twitch right now. Unbelievable. I feel appalled, offended. I'm going to cry slightly. There's a tear, a single tear rolling down my cheek right now as I find out I am second best in Mr. Dongle's eyes. What other artists could be far more important than me learning to airbrush and priming miniatures black? What, you know, no one else is dropping knowledge bombs like I am. Working on emotes for other streamers. Wow! Didn't even have to do mine, did you? No, no. Only other people's. I see. I see how it is. That's fine. You're just going to be Mr. D to me now. And no longer shall I call you Mr. Dongle with your full name. You're not worthy of me calling you your full name. How very rude. Sitting over here slaving away behind a hot compressor. And for what, eh? For what? All I wanted was a little bit of acceptance from Mr. Dongles. Giuliano art. He's making art for other people. It's fine. I can take it. I've been heartbroken before in the past. You're just making me stronger as a character. Yep, there's no one's doing any song requests, so well, they'd like to.
I love this show.
Oh, Baron Yump with the follow. See, Baron Yump cares. Baron Yump's my friend. He knew when I was down, this man needs my follow. This man needs my attention, my support. He's not off making emotes for other streamers. And then Jao joins him as well. See? Two of them. Just realising how much of a mean person you are, Julian. Blick, I'm just cutting my teeth so I can do the good stuff for you, Izul. Oh, I see what you... Oh, you're just brown-nosing now. Wow, the commands are getting quite long. I need to work out the command. Maybe I have to kill some commands off. Maybe we have to remove some commands. Like we... Oh god, that's loud. Maybe I should remove the Star Wars Day alerts. I mean, they're not even like relevant now. Whoop, fail. Don't remove this one. Alright, calm down. Tell you what, if Rainer was here, he'd be proud of me right now. I've just used the air gun at half pressure. Targeted priming. War. This airbrushing thing, pff, easy. Digital high five. Long distance high five. Don't remove banana. I won't remove banana. Jesus. Oh, we are. It's dust in the wind, dude. Oh, shit. What is that from? Bill and Ted? Is it Bill and Ted? Yes. It's Bill and Ted. I'm sure it is. When he goes back and gets Archimedes or it is. Yeah, Bill and Ted, yeah. Are you from the Islands, Flixer? Because you're making me crazy with all this with this airbrush skills for a friend. Oh yeah, you're making me crazy. Mate, I got this on lock. You ain't seen nothing like this before. I'm going to be keeping it icy soon, you watch. I ain't got a clue what I'm doing. Banana Jesus. Excellent. Oh, that's an amazing. We should do that. Exclamation mark excellent should definitely become an alert on this stream. Remind me, Gosh Jungle, so I don't forget. We'll find a GIF that suits and we'll do that. Excellent. And we'll have a little. When something goes right, that's what we'll do. Can you say lit fam? No, because a bunch of my stupid friends with car stuff who yeah, no. One does not approve nor agree with. I guess I can stop looking for GIFs on my channel. Oh no, have you already used that? Have I completely just robbed that from your channel? I didn't even realise you had alerts. I didn't realise you joined the truck, the train, jumped on the old bandwagon and had alerts. I love causing trends. Teasing people. Oh, sorry. You don't realise because you don't care. Wow. Well, if you streamed at a more hospitable time for me, and not like during my streams or, you know, during other people's streams, like I have to moderate. See, like yesterday you were on, and I watched for a little bit, but I was moderating on 2 other channels because 2 other people that I moderate for decided to also go live at the same time. And the problem is, so many people made me mods. And this is not me saying unmod me, I'm simply saying that because I have them alt-tab them, I've got multiple tabs open with their channels open, and I'm trying to partake in chat on other people's stuff. It's a hard life being me, man. You try walking in these shoes for one day. Oh. The amount of tech PMs and assistants and... Who's this? Orc Pride, legend. How's the air compressor doing? Can anyone hear the air compressor? Is it completely ruining all examples of fun? Station. That was the best one. Oh, okay. True. Honest question here. Honest question. I'm gonna expose and be honest with you. Did anyone else find the tune at the end of Bill and Dead 2, where God gave rock and roll to you, was not like the best rock anthem ever, and you were embarrassed the fact that you liked it so much because it's actually at the end of a film as opposed to an actual rock song? I could not get that song out of my head for ages. Full on actual tune. Not like this, you know, not like Spice Girls level. Talking anthem for the youth. Best performance ever. It was the best. Thank God for that. It's a Kiss song. Ah, it's a Kiss song. That makes more sense. I didn't actually know that. Wow, how bad am I? It was a freaking awesome tune. Right, how are we doing? Good. Cannot believe we're listening to freaking Spice Girls. What are we, Lathius? Obviously, I'm going a bit heavier now, and I'm not really carrying as much because this is the underside.
Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. Let's spend the night together from now until forever. Boom, 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 boom. I wanna go boom, boom. Let's spend the night together, together in my room.
Indeed. Whoa. You're setting a bad example for the kids. Flick, where is your respirator mask? Well, we went through this earlier on. My respirator mask currently does not exist, but I do have currently a well-ventilated area for both a door and window open, and I'm not... The particulate in this case is not toxic. So I'm using a non-toxic based paint, I guess you want to call it. Primer, whatever. So yes, it is advised, of course, to do this regardless, just for health in general. I did not have one to hand, nor did I have time to go get one. Do you know what? I nearly did an air paint moment there. I'll tell you what, I can see why he does it. I can see why he does it. Chrome up your mouth. Witness me. I'm not sure witnessing on Twitch is the best idea for terms of service. And it certainly would not be setting a good example. Cool. Nearly there. Right, that's done. Well, we've got a lot of things in the bleak. And we'll hopefully get... What's the time now? 5:02. Yeah, we'll have to go a little bit later. We'll go late today. Why not? Yeah, Mad Max, anyone? Indeed. I know it, man. That's what I said, witness me. You're priming up your lungs with non-toxic paint. Indeed, I am. Witness me. Spice World is an epic of filmmaking. Raina, I've just lost a little bit of respect for you, I'll be honest. I can't hear you over your compressor. Uh-oh. How loud is the compressor? Yeah, can't hear the compressor. All good. Perfect. It's not ruining the audio. Good. Dude, those butts on station creep me out. Why'd they creep you out? It's awesome.
Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get
Rufus! Except it's Lethius. Yes! We need to start calling Lethius Rufus. Yes. Rufus!
I love this show.
Andy McPherce. What a fucking awesome name. Welcome, sir, along to the stream. Thank you so much for your follow. Take a seat, sit down, enjoy your favourite beverage. Let's get cracking. As we I nearly said, once again, I nearly set my stream title today to blacking all the things. Then I thought about the potential issues I could get into. I could get into trouble with that one. Then I was like, okay, paint everything black, then all the black. And no matter what I did, I was like, nah, I'm just not comfortable with this as a stream title in general. So I just changed it. Either way, we are currently painting all the things in a black primer. Currently, we are doing the head of Tylus Rubio. Apologies. One of the Forge World characters. One of the projects you'll be seeing me painting on stream here. Should you wish to return in the future. We've also got a whole bunch of other stuff as well. We've got a Infinity. We've got Achilles. Sorry. So we've got. This chap has been primed today as well, so we've got the Infinity, he's a commission, the first commission from this stream's 24.99 subscribers, in fact. So that's very exciting for me. Very, very cool. We've also got Trevarian's robot. So Trevarian is another streamer here on Twitch. And it is his sculpt. Tell you what, it's not quick, this, is it? I mean, it's quick, and it's far better, but it's still not as fast as I'd like it to be. But then, when we come to do the Death Guard, because I'm doing tabletop, I'm going to be far less concerned with how much goes in all the places and all the things. I'm just going to launch it across. In fact, we might do that now with the Poxwalkers. Have we done all of the others? Maybe we have. The broken one got her cast off today. She's so excited. Oh, bless her. Awesome. On the road to recovery. How long was the cast on for, Teague? Oh, what a tune, Gilly. I love you. Where is... How much black have we got left? Do you know what? I might just do that. Let's just do a double check of all the things. That's fine. I'm going to zenith all that up anyway. I absolutely adore this tune. Oh. On the next Flick Codes stuff stream, the next one where I delve into do some programming, these are the kind of tunes. I've got an electronic tune like playlist where it's nothing but this sort of stuff, just tunes inspired from or inspired by or from like nerd movies, hacking movies, tech-based movies. No matter how tenuous the link is, I've got like stuff from like Social Network movie on there, and Matrix and Tron and The Net and The Wire and Die Hard 4's even in there, if you can call that a hacking film. Anything like that is like, right, let's get in the mood. Let's do some coding. I don't know why. It is. That one's fine. 6 weeks. All right. Wow. She can't go back to gymnastics for another couple of months, but it's got to heal up properly, hasn't it? But at least she's free of the stinky boot. Yeah. Oh man, showering with a freaking cast on the foot. Blimey, pain in the ass. Just checking all of the parts of Tyler's Rubio, who is our Forge World chat that we're doing here. This is the dude. Looking pretty good, man. There's no detail lost. It's nice and thin, smooth across all surfaces. I'm even finding like bits of imperfection in the actual sculpt. This is the base, but no. Again, Zenith full lighting this, so don't worry too much about some of the gapped areas. This is only what do you call it, dry fitted, so I can take this off and I can mount it separately so we can get to all the details, all the edges on this chap here. There we go. Oh, Darth Tallin, thank you so much for the host, man. How are you? I saw your whip earlier. Hopefully you were here to see it as well, but if not, looking good, dude. Congrats. There we go. There. Cool, that was good as well. And then that's the Infinity guy, and that's our robot from Trevarian, as I mentioned earlier. I'm excited to get started on this guy, actually. The broken one, what a title, yeah, bless her. The broken one had her cast off. Okay, let's catch up. So, what's the volume like for you guys for music? Can it go up a bit? I'm going to turn it up a little bit anyway. She kind of read that already. I've died in a cast. Yeah, I'd have died in a cast. Yeah, casts are horrible. I hated the cast I had on my finger, let alone on my foot. You spelled come to daddy wrong and it still did it. Fair enough. Aphex Twins, cool. Kind of just woke up from a nap. Oh, fair enough, Darth. No worries, dude. Hello, everyone. I'm back for a bit. Slow afternoon at work. Welcome, Gren Stuff. How you doing, man? Warboy, how you doing? Welcome. I'm all confused and tired. Oh, no. Did I send everyone to sleep? Did this stream just send everyone on a nap? Is that what just happened? Is that what people are telling me? Should I be offended or worried? Should I be upset? Concerned even? How you doing, Moses? Welcome. Music can go up. Alright, cool. Music can go up. Music will go up. What I will need to do, though, is put something on thing. I only got 4 hours of sleep. Oh, man. I can relate to that as a new parent. I got a bit more than that, thankfully. My wife is very, very kind and does all the night shift stuff. As most of the time she needs feeding anyway, so... Yes, but 4 hours sleep still. Blimey. Any particular reason? Are we ill? So now that you're a dad, how are those jokes coming? We've actually got in the to-do list, in my to-do list, many things. One of which is the dad joke generator. Thanks to Zeb Zaranda and a few others popping and dropping in their dad jokes. We've got a long list to add to a bot. So it was 4th of July. Oh, so that happened. I see. Right, I wonder if Scott's here. I wonder if Nikki Coles can tell me if her other half is about, because this is the fun bit. So, this happened. So in my creation of the, this is the 8th edition floated bloat drone, or it's called, I don't know how, it's a drone, whatever they call it, whatever. So I started to put this together and realized that because I'm supposed to be doing this to tabletop. Now, a challenge has been set to me by AB6 Scott to not get hung up on my Death Guard. So all of my Poxwalkers, my Plague Marines, the drone, and the first wave of the 3 characters, I'm going to do them... Lexi. I'm going to do them in a... what do you call it style? In a tabletop style. So... dip it. I'm not going to dip it. We're not going that far. What was I saying? Before Lexi Bomb completely derailed me. What was I saying? Yes, right. So I've got to do it in a tabletop style. So we're going to do all of them tabletop. I'm not going to do loads of glazing, loads of my highest level display quality. We're going to get them done in a way that flicks the can. So I get them done. Still going to take a week probably. But either way, we're going to approach them with layering, more of an ABC kind of Games Workshop approach with the Death Guard. Unlike Achilles for the Infinity, the Robot for Trevelyan, Tesla, all of the ones you've seen so far are all projects, single miniatures that I'll be doing specific details either to the best of my ability, or I'll be practicing new techniques or something that will involve a lot of time. The Death Guard are tabletop miniatures for an army, so I've just got to practice getting them done because I just don't have that in me. I tend to paint to the best of ability at all times, which means I spend far too long on miniatures. So he said, right, no glazings allowed, straight in with layering, tabletop a lot. So I thought, okay, with that in mind, I'll try not to do too many sub-assemblies. Turns out, all of my Plague Marines are sub-assemblied still. One of my Poxwalkers is sub-assemblied, and I was trying desperately not to sub-assembly the drone. And yet, when I put on this top engine here, this was fine. I can get to everywhere with the brush. But when I put on this side one, I realised that actually it's not as easy to get into the certain areas around that engine. So, or fan, or whatever you want to call it, whatever we'll call it, an engine. So I was like, okay, do I sit the other one on? I don't know. I'll go and ask Scott. No glazing, only layering. What's the difference? Consistency of paint. Let's try it. I know you're just trying to, meh, I get it. I've been on your stream. I've heard it. It's my way of referencing the style in which I do it. When I glaze, it's very, very thin paint, and it's translucent, it's opaque, and I'll use 20 layers to get the consistency and a nice smooth transition. When I'm doing layering, it's what I refer to as, still thinning my paints, of course, but I'll be approaching it in more of an ABC. You know, we'll do a base, a wash, and put the base color back on again, a layer, a highlight, maybe an extreme highlight, and it'll just be thinned down, but not as thin as to needing glazes. The transitions won't be as smooth. It'll be much more blocky. I see some flash there. Where do you see some flash, friend? Where do you see Flash? Coming in here with glazing and layering. Now he's on about Flash. These fucking other streamers coming in here talking shit. Where is he seeing it? Dip will get right in those cracks. I'm not dipping it. By the way, I need to work at least 30 minutes today. No worries, Julian. Take it easy, man. This is a prank we pull on my body. Oh no! You just tell him all the time. Yes, mold lines, Gilly. I was waiting for you to spell it right. We tell him we see mold lines here. See, I don't mind about mold line, but when he says flash, he's like, I mean, there's a bit hanging off it or something. I don't know. Normally, flash is like something you can brush off. To be fair, I kind of rush through these anyway. Like I said, they're supposed to be tabletop. This is the point. So, oh, Pennywise, hell yeah. But anyway, my point was basically I was going to stick this on. I was doing it today. I asked Scott whilst I was in Lathis' chat, and he was like, I stuck it all together. I kind of wish I hadn't. I'm like, God damn it. So now I've got the situation where I've got one engine attached, and I'm not sure about the other one. But the guns were separate, so. Right, my wife has said Phil needs to come in now. So she's clearly wants me to stop streaming soon, so I have to oblige these things, as that's what a husband has to do. So I don't know what's gone wrong or why she needs me. I'm assuming the cat's exploded. Ella's on the roof. Something's gone horribly wrong. But what I will do, I've got some black in the airbrush still. I'll just blast some of it over what I've done. The wife has spoken, yeah. You wanted to speed up your painting, use quick shade and dip that, yeah. Maybe I'll dip something for some event or something. I don't know what. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll. The thing is, that's Emma's thing, man. Electric Eve does that. I don't want to take her thing. She dips it. She's got the dirty dipper. She does dipping screens. I don't want to invade in. It's not cool to do that. So I don't know. I won't do that. Where the fuck? More stuff. All right. Never mind. I ain't got time. That can stay over there for now. Hey, look at my whip. You missed the whip, Mr. Month. Do I have to go back to the whip gallery just for you? I guess I could, but yeah, we'll do it at the end as we're closing up, dude. Give me 2 seconds. I've got to blast through the last of the paint in this airbrush, so not to waste it. And then I got to get in. Let's go to Ninja. He's doing a charity drive. I will host who the fuck I want to host. Don't tell me who to host. You're not my real dad. See, what you've done now, as usual, this is the same thing that Dodo did a while back with Monicon. What you've done now is what I would probably have hosted him anyway, because he's one of my mods. He's the one that did my my bot remotely, and he's doing a charity drive. I'd have hosted him anyway. Now you've told me how to host him. So now I'm not sure I can host him, because if I host him because you told me to, everyone else will think, oh, I can just tell Flick who to host, and he'll host. Yesterday, on Monday, someone said the same thing to MandyB, and I actually ended up doing it. So what do I do every time? If someone comes in and goes, oh, host my friend Frank because he's streaming, do I have to do it? Oh dear. The best way to get things is not to ask, right? Oh damn, Daddy Flick has spoken. Indeed, I gotta get my daddy voice in every now and then. Every now and then people take the piss. I know Deathworth though, he's a good mate. He didn't mean anything by it. So I'm obviously giving him shit, but equally, it's just a kind of warning to everyone else as well. If you want me to host you, if you want my stream to come over and say hello, here's a tip. Don't ask. Just be online, and you might get chosen. Luck of the draw. We've hosted a whole bunch of new streamers, smaller streamers, all the time. Yesterday we hosted MandyB. Oh, sorry, Monday we hosted MandyB on her second ever stream, or third ever stream. We hosted Landcores on his first ever stream. We've hosted Hellstorm, we have a Blap, we've done Healthio, we've done Sergeant Sculpt, whole bunch of them. We were always supporting, always pushing forward. I was one of the people, in fact, that actually pushed people to start doing it. There's a whole bunch of streamers when they first started out that didn't do that. There you go, Darth Colton. Frank is on. You should totally host him. Yeah, I'll go host Frank, man. Definitely. Let's go host Frank. You should all talk to Frank anyway about our addiction to crack. That's the miniature plastic crack, obviously. What were you all thinking? I don't know what you guys were thinking about. So now this miniature, because it's a tabletop, I am certainly intending or trying to be a little bit less concerned. I'm pulling the trigger a little bit more as far as how much particulate's coming out, how much paint. And just generally being a little bit more nonchalant. Just lathering it all over, all up in the place. Hopefully with a bit more of a we don't care attitude, but we'll see. And the wonderful thing is with the Death Guard is I've actually got a second sprue of this, so I've got backups if it goes horribly wrong. So if I completely balls this up, it's all good. Ah. Now Raino's showing you how to use the airbrush. He was going to teach you how to clean it properly. Grenler's already done that. That's all good. Grenler was here live, helped me, literally. I'm not even lying, you can ask him. He took me into the bathroom. We had a moment together in the bathroom. We shared a cubicle as he showed me how to clean my dirty needle. Make sure the end was wet. Make sure I got all of the dirtiness off. Giggity giggity.
Everything's gonna be fine. Guarantee that you wake in a better
What if I'm addicted to normal crack? Can I still talk to Frank? I believe so. I believe Frank is there for you if you need him, Deathwatch. For anything, you just need to talk to him. Just open up to Frank, and Frank will help you as best he can. This primer is indeed badass, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. I've been giving it proper shit. Whoa! Too much, too much, too much, too much. Just looking at this, I get the smell of primer up my nose. Yeah, yeah, that is definitely a thing. Did you see your sculpture, Varian, by the way? Guys, whilst he's here now again, he wasn't here. I don't think he was here. He certainly didn't speak anyway. Make sure you give this guy a follow. This is the guy I was talking about when we primed up that robot. There we go. We are out. Perfect. There you go. Look at that. Out. So I will run some cleaner through it, some water through it, all that kind of jazz. I was out for a walk. No, that's all good. No, I was just trying to promote. So the let's drop the tunes down slightly. There we are. So yes, the miniature we were showing earlier. This one here. Although I love the fact that it's a black miniature on a black background being held by a black glove. There's not much you can really do about this at the moment, but yeah, I can't really give you much detail, but there you go anyway. There it is in all its glory, now primed up. I'm going to do a zenithal on this. I'm going to come back with white as well. We'll see. Travail Pro indeed. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. It's smooth. Again, bear in mind, this is the first time I've used the airbrush, so I'll tell you what, with all of the stuff I've primed tonight so far, I'm very happy with. Obviously, we've only done the black level. We did run out of time to come back across with the white, but duty calls when you're a father and you get the wife come in chat saying that you need to come in. Generally, that means you need to come in. So who am I to argue? Unfortunately, that does mean that I'll have to do the white another time. But we might be able to do it in one of our sneaky streams I mentioned. So I've got a lot of work on right now, so I can't guarantee this week, but at some point, maybe this week, maybe not, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be doing a late stream. As I mentioned before, I'm trying to work out a day that makes most sense to do so. But I will be doing a American-friendly stream, and also will be the stream after my daughter's gone to bed. Similar to the style that Maito does. I'll be doing it after the responsibility's gone to bed, basically. So, I am stoked for Travarian's Flick to arrive. Yeah, that should be badass, yes. Again, guys, for those that don't know, that is now at the caster. Oops, sorry, guys. I just knocked the mic. I apologise. That is at the caster. I got an email today confirming that everything is going ahead as planned. And yeah, the process has been started. Now, obviously, there's a lot of process to do. So, it's going to take some time. The email said to me that it wouldn't have been until August. At the very earliest. So I've also got other stuff to do. I've got stickers already on the way. I've got the art card. I need to talk to Soda Mouse about the concept work, so I can sign it and number it for those of you that got the first 50. If you weren't there for the first 50, down below the page, there is still a button. You can still buy one. It is a slightly more expensive, and it is, of course, not going to be numbered. I might still sign it. I might still be a nice chap and sign it because you are one of the first to buy. But certainly it won't be numbered. One of the limited 50. The first 50 were cheaper because we needed you guys to purchase them in order to actually pay Travarian to get it going. So thank you so much for getting involved for that. Again, it really has made a massive difference. Yeah, the August thing was a bit of a bummer. Yeah, it was. Well, no one predicted it. No one knew. And, you know, it's a Kickstarter. Sometimes Kickstarters take up to a year and stuff. So the fact that we've got this turned around in, 6 months-ish? Give or take? I think is still fine. And it's the first time that I've ever been involved in anything like this. I'm pretty sure it's the first time Dodo has, so... And hopefully, it won't be the last one. Maybe we'll do another one. I don't know what, don't know when, I don't know why, but maybe. Maybe we'll do another one. Right, anyway, guys, we are going to find someone to host. We are going to go and do a thing. What a tune as well. Poison. Oh. So I'll find someone who is currently online. I guess I need to sit down and do some Airbrush tutorial recording after chatting with you all. No, I got it first. It's mine. Mine. I'm going to export this to YouTube. But yeah. Thanks for the stream. No worries, man. Thanks for having you on. No worries at all, man. Obviously, again, guys, Ray in the top right-hand corner, still there. He was the one that was on earlier, guiding us through the initial steps when we were trying to do this for the first time. And I've had fun. Hopefully, you guys have had fun as well. Hopefully, it's been informative at least. In some way, maybe you guys have learned something through my attempts at doing this. Come on, don't let me down. Yes, as far as when we're back next, so guaranteed back will be Monday, unfortunately. We're doing Mondays and Wednesdays at the moment, and that's it. We might be back on the weekend, depends how work goes, and we might have a sneaky bonus stream at some point this week in the evening around 10:30 GMT until late. We're talking till like 1 in the morning, but I can't guarantee it this week. Work is just intense. So, but I'm just saying that so you guys aren't surprised when suddenly, oh, it's a random flick. You know, it might just happen. So, in the meantime, let's find out who is on and who is about. Come on. Why is Twitch so slow when I try and host people, honestly? Ah, well, boy, thank you for that, man. A bonus stream. Yes, a bonus stream. It's like a bonus one, but you get solid entertainment. I know you're impressed, you're impressed. Right, so let's do this. So we are going over to Like a Ninja, unsurprisingly. We were going to go there anyway, but yeah. I just wanted to give Deathwatch a bit of shit, but try and tell me who to host. In the meantime, though, guys, Hellstorm Wargaming is on as well. Good friend of the stream. But yeah, we are going to go and host Like a Ninja. It is his cancer charity fundraising month, whatever you want to call it. I was promoting this last month. He's giving away an Ixion Hail. You guys might remember I gave one away. Went to Malleus, who then painted it and gave it away. I think it went to Mathis or Memnor. I forget, one of those two. I apologise. And I know Genuine also gave one away on his stream. So guys, if you want to get another chance to get your hands on an Ixion Hail limited edition, You just need to simply give some money to charity. You know? So please give him a follow. If you're not going to give him a follow, he's also my mod. He's also the guy who does a lot of tech support for the Phantom Bot stuff. So he's a good person to know. He's a good person to be friends with. He's a great person in general. He obviously helps out a lot. So don't skip the host. Go over there, give him a follow, throw some emotes in the spam, wake him up, get him going, and then if you want to leave after that, you can. But at least go and say hello, and I advise you stick around. I think he's painting some Blood Bowl last I saw. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate everyone, all of you tonight, all of the subs, all of the follows. There's a lot of follows tonight. I really appreciate it. We had a lot of subs tonight as well. You guys always, all these, you know, they do make a difference. We are working our way towards our next big follow goal, which is 2,000. There will be an event. There will be things. And subs, of course, you guys. I love you. I always do. So thank everyone. Subs tonight. We had Surreal Lemon coming in for a brand new sub, guys. Love him. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Beardy Jane came in. Bronid came in. Oriel came in. Shaitan came in. Witch King. Confurioso. All of those guys tonight coming in for resubs at various tiers as well. Shaitan and Witch King coming in at tier 2. Thank you so much to you guys. And the rest of you at tier 1 as well. Obviously, every sub does count, so thank you so much. Right, enjoy yourself. I will see you guys in the Twitch chat of other streamers.
Flick Raid! Darth, thank you for those bits. Much appreciated. And no, there's no song requests at the moment. We can put them on. I have no problem with song requests going on. If you give me a moment.